Well, good morning, everyone, from North Bay, Ontario, Canada. We're in the gateway to the north, and the slogan says, just north enough to be perfect. The city of about 53,000 people playing host to the Ford World Women's Curling Championship as we look at Lake Nipissing and the North Bay Memorial Gardens, the venue for the championship this year to determine the 2018 World Champions. We bring you inside here. Session 6 this morning, and our featured game, Sweden taking on Team USA. So we have the Olympic champions here in competition, trying to stay unbeaten. Just 2 games will be played this morning in the only session where it'll just be the 2 games going on. Teams just waiting to make their way out on the ice.
And now stepping on the ice is Team Italy. Followed by Team Russia.
Just be the 4 teams making their way out on the ice. You see Italy, Russia. The other game going on, USA, Sweden, will be our feature game. Of course, the 13-team round robin. Luke Coley here, joined with Hans Brouwenlaab as we get you set for Session 6. Be my first look at the Olympic champions here in this World Championship. But first, let's meet the teams that are in the lineups that will be playing here. For Sweden, their lead, Sofia Malberg. Their second, Agnes Knockenhauer. Third, Sarah McManus. And the skip of this Olympic championship squad, Anna Hasselborg. Missed the podium last year at the Worlds. They'll take on Team USA, their lead, Monica Walker. Second, Vicky Persinger. And the third, Alex Carlson. Skipped by Jamie Sinclair in their first trip to the World Championship. So we look at the standings heading into day 3. Canada, Korea, Russia, and Sweden all at 3-0, followed closely by Japan and Team USA. Then China, Czech Republic, and Italy all at 1-2. Switzerland 1-3, and then Denmark, Germany, and Scotland all looking for their first wins at this year's World Championship. As I said, just the 2 games going on. Italy, a 1-2, takes on 3-0 Russia, while Sweden, as well, looking at to stay unbeaten, takes on 2-1 USA. As the teams just await introductions and the go-ahead from the officials. Bring in Hans Brouwenlaab now, and this Sweden team hasn't really missed a beat since their Olympic run.
Yeah, you spend 4 years of your life organizing yourself for the Olympic Games and win the gold medal, and now a month later you're here in North Bay trying to peak again for a World Championships, and yeah, they look like they came off the ice in Pyeongchang. They're just looking like a machine. I covered their game yesterday against China, and they looked very impressive. Shooting percentages in the 90s, and it's early in the week. It's a 12-game round robin, but they are looking very much like one of the teams to beat this week. Team USA, it's a big game for them too. They're 2-1, and we've got a new playoff format this year at the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. 6 teams will make the playoffs, and so at 2-1, if they could come up with an upset win here this morning, that would put them very much in the playoff frame.
Yeah, anytime you can bring one of those top teams back to you, even yourself out with the record. A loss here, you drop 2 games back instead of being tied with your counterparts. And that's how it shapes out. Sweden did win the last stone draw challenge, so they will have the hammer to start things off. We'll be throwing. Sweden will have the red stones, USA with the yellow. And we are set to begin here our feature game, as it is Monica Walker, the lead for Team USA, will get us started. Monica out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
14. No, stop. Back and forth. It's fine. Fine.
There's always a healthy debate in the USA whether it's Minnesota or North Dakota or Wisconsin, which is truly the curling heart of America.
Yeah, seeing numerous teams coming out of those three. More so of late, it's been Wisconsin with the John Schuster's team, or Duluth, Minnesota. First stone goes in, and Hasselborg elects to play the hit. Rolls out. Sophia Mabergs. This team intact. Less than a month away, removed from an Olympic gold medal, and probably been a little bit of a whirlwind for them. They do all the media, the publicity, and the celebration as well.
No doubt.
Wonder if it's really sunk in that they're Olympic champions.
Well, it's such a well-organized team. You hate to use the word machine, but it really does feel that way. They just go about their business. Their pre-game routine, their practice here in North Bay is exactly the same as it was in Korea. I think if there's any team that's come here overwhelmed with the post-Olympic hype, it's probably South Korea. Team Korea, Team Kim here, have become massive celebrities in their home country, silver medalists in Pyeongchang.
Well, just a quiet hit here for Mabergs, and we both were in Korea, for able to see the exposure that it did grow for that. Obviously, they would have loved to win the gold, the Korean side, but Sweden was, in my opinion, the best team there throughout the entire week. As we look at Team USA, this is the team that lost the final to go to the Olympics for the State's Vicky Persinger, and then they went and they won their U.S. Nationals to get to the World Championship for the first time. So it's a big event for them to really show they can play at the world level and play at this stage. And
very much so. Great opportunity for them to benchmark themselves against the best teams in the world here in North Bay. Absolutely.
So not a lot going on here in this first end. First one went in playing hits. Agnes Knockenhauer. And the scary thing for the curling world is this Swedish team, they're all still in their late 20s. They're still young.
Yeah. Could have another decade in front of them in terms of top-level performance.
Let's look at the rules of play here in round robin. 6 ends must be played. 38 minutes of thinking time, including 1 60-second timeout. And for fans that may not know, just explain the thinking time a little bit, Hans.
Yeah, it's a bit like chess. So when the stone's in motion, the time clock stops. So it's the time between when your opponent's stone stops and when you throw your shot, your clock is running. So the idea there is not to penalize teams that throw draw shots, because a draw shot takes longer to travel the distance of the ice. So they introduced thinking time to just even that up and not penalize the teams that might want to play a bit more aggressively. Good innovation.
Well, playing these hits there in the first end, pretty open. Talk about innovation and changes, and they go to a 13-team round robin, an extra team out of the Pacific Asia region that qualify for the Worlds every year.
3 teams from the Pacific Asia region this year, and in 2019 they will introduce a world qualifying event. So the lowest placed teams in the European, Americas, or Pacific Asia region will lose one of their guaranteed places, which will become one of the places available at the World's qualifying event. But that World's qualifying event not introduced for this year's Worlds. So we have a 13-team World Championship. So it's a 12-game round robin.
See Alex Carlson, the third for Team USA. Alex, St. Paul, Minnesota as well. Will hit, roll out, so wide open rings.
Bra fart.
Rör sig inte jättemycket.
Sarah McManus.
Bra fart.
Var med det. Fel tid, var med
Ligger
det.
tid. Fast tid.
Okej.
Det är där. 14-5.
Probably the least Swedish sounding name on this team, but
Bra Lisa.
her father was from Scotland,
Härligt Sara.
played professional football in Sweden.
Bra.
Out to the wings, so get that nice draw in the first end. Of course, Sweden throwing the Redstones had the first practice. Been a while since they've been out on the ice. Get in. Nice to get that first feel, a low-risk draw in the first end.
Yeah, pretty conservative first end all around from both teams.
Okay, 10-2. Tighter.
Well, not too surprised though. I mean, by sorry to interrupt there, Luke, but it's the shot choices of this Hasselborg team. This is one thing that's impressed me over the last couple of years. They're always looking at the game situation, the percentages, and almost invariably make the right shot choice. So USA is still in the rings. Anna Hasselborg immediately be thinking, okay, up and down, blank the end, throw a corner guard in two and start to play on the attack when we've got last rock in an even end. That's the way that this Swedish team thinks. It's always playing the percentages.
Well, Sarah a little short with that one.
20.
I think it was, if this was Jamie Sinclair's second stone, they'd come around, but being the first, they're going to hit and roll onto the paint.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a little surprising. A bit of an opportunity if you want to try and put a little bit of heat on Team Sweden early. You might think about ducking around this one now, but Jamie Sinclair is indeed electing to hit this one. Safe play. Only challenge about thinking too conservatively, though, you can play it too safe. And if you're going to beat a team of Hasselborg's quality, somewhere along the line you're going to have to take a chance. And but the time you probably don't want to be taking a chance is when you don't have last rock. So Jamie Sinclair making a good save call there.
We didn't really need to do that.
Well, that's fine.
10.
Yeah.
10 mot lite löser.
Ja.
Well, not a lot of that thinking time will need to be used here from either side in this first end. Of course, Anna Hasselborg, the Swedish team at the Olympics, won the gold there. They finished off the podium last year at the World Championship. Just trying to do the Olympic world double. That only other team that's done that,
Kind of have to be Swedish.
Annette Norberg. She did that in 2006.
It was an Olympics I competed in, and that Norberg team, true champions. Two-time gold medalists, of course. That one is just going to cling in. A little spin back there.
The little biter uses all 12 feet of the rings.
Absolutely.
So like 9-5, yeah. I think that's about like.
Det var nästan 11 också så. Jag tänkte någonting sånt där fast jag skulle bara lira ut den lite. Ja. Det låter bra.
Canadian teams have traditionally been dominant in world and Olympic play over the years, but
Yeah.
women's curling,
I haven't thrown as far out yet. So.
Swedish curling has a long and very successful tradition at both the World Championship and the Olympic level. Jamie Sinclair of the USA. We saw the USA in the men's event at the top of the podium in Pyeongchang, and so Jamie Sinclair wants to get the U.S. women's curling program into the same frame.
Yeah, get that momentum and keep it going, rolling in their favor. Of course, it was 2003 when Team USA won their Women's World Championship. Deb McCormick winning that in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Very late. It was like,
Hog line.
yeah, 2/3 of the way down.
These are really. Spelar du ta farten eller? Ja.
Kanske lite hårdare.
So the rollout means the old throw through for Anna Hasselborg.
Yeah, Not too tough a shot here for Anna.
It's a shot I can make.
You've mastered this one?
I've mastered this one, even when it's not called.
Deliberate tactic here to keep last rock into the second end if you're brand new to curling a blank end.
And they will keep the hammer heading to the second end of play.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
USA Sweden
I think so.
0-0 after one end of play in North Bay, Canada.
Well, we have to be on the side. I know. Yeah.
Well, no score as we start the second end. USA Sweden. Live coverage of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Luke Olli joined with Hans Frauenlob here on a Monday morning. Just 2 games in play. The only session all week long. We're just 2 games out on the ice. See how Team USA plays the second end.
Well, Jamie Sinclair bringing this one into the rings. I would not be at all surprised to see Anna Hasselborg throw the corner guard this time. Right on the pin though. Pretty good draw.
Ja, jag gillar det. Vi har inte riktigt sopat ner hitåt.
Men där omkring.
Ja.
Well, definitely has the game plan, has the tactic to... No, okay, and that's in. We'll go to the corner. Seen some teams really put that center line guard to try and force the issue and bring play to the center, especially without last rock. And it seemed to work with some teams and just bring play to the middle, making it tougher to set up this corner guard play.
It's definitely traditional when you've got last rock to throw the corner guard, keep the play away from the center line, try to generate multiple points that way. But yeah, sometimes you throw that corner, you never get a chance to use it. So if you're going to throw a corner guard, then you have to be brave enough to ignore the play in the middle for a couple of shots and then throw one around that corner knowing that your opponent's going to have shot and it's maybe going to be guarded. But that's the way you generate 2s and 3s. And Hasselborg team is very good at that. If you're playing that way, you've got a lot of confidence in your ability to make double takeouts and run-backs. And Agnes Knockenhauer and Sarah McManus can certainly throw those kinds of stones. Nice center guard there. So it's game on. Guards in play. Love it.
Well, Sweden's had no problem. They've scored lots of points already this week. Just 3 games played, but they're a plus 21 already.
It's pretty healthy.
And have started every game now, including this one. First 4 with last stone in the first end.
And that's a real advantage. The last rock in the game it's an advantage when you have last rock. You're expecting to score more than 1 point. That's determined by the pre-game practice. At the end of the practice, each team throws 2 draws to the pin. Team with the 2 shots closest to the middle gets last rock, and statistics say if you've got last rock in the first end, you're slightly more likely to win the game. So it's definitely an advantage, and Sweden's had that advantage.
So Sweden plays a little tick shot on that guard.
I like
Just
that
chips
call.
it over, rolls into the house.
Love it. That's just to get that stone off the center line to give themselves a path to the button, but also to roll their own stone onto the rings, and that forces the USA to deal with it. They're setting the trap for Team USA.
Trying to keep it away from the center. You use that corner guard. Now the other guard they have in play also.
Well, now Hasselborg has options. She can play this stone on the button, roll behind the pile as she's indicating. She could also throw the double takeout, so she's got a way to get to the button. Here's Scotty Baird, U.S. coach. An Olympic medalist in his own right. He was the alternate on John Schuster, or Pete Fenson's rather, 2016, that John Schuster was the lead player of.
Well, here's that play. Now try and use those stones in the house.
This one's tracking a bit. Don't think they're going to get the inside roll. We see Maria Pritz, the coach of the Swedish team, Olympic medalist herself. Exactly. Olympic medals everywhere here in North Bay. Won the Olympic silver in 2014. A glimpse of national coach Pia Lindholm there as well, 3-time world champion.
But he never medaled at an Olympics.
Yeah, surprising. He had such a stellar career, and it's the only thing missing from his resume. But now he's running the Swedish program, and he is producing medalists at a rate of knots.
Well, as you see there, Jenny Wallin, who was actually on the Swedish junior team that finished second at the recent World Junior Championship as well.
Yes.
She's been a busy girl. She was the alternate at the Olympic Winter Games, went to Scotland, probably went home to Sweden, then to Scotland, played the World Juniors, and now here in North Bay, Canada for the Worlds.
So, Jenny, what did you do on your winter vacation? I went everywhere.
I did Korea, Scotland, and Canada.
This one over curling. It's going to spill out of the rings.
It's a little mistake. Agnes Knockenhauer.
Just a little down in the weight. Sweden tends to play that quiet hack weight when they're trying to control the roll. And lots of movement on the ice here in North Bay, and that one just over curling. I think on that kind of shot, you can afford to throw a board weight and throw to the sweepers a little bit. But it's been working for Sweden, so you're not going to question it.
Well, Alex Carlson's played well so far at 90% throughout the tournament so far.
This one's well past the guard. It's not going to bury. So big decision coming up now for Hasselborg. You're looking at 3. You've got the corner guard set. Do you play conservative? Looks like she is. She's just going to play double takeout on the stones in the back of the rings.
I thought she might play the draw, knowing the draw gets shot stone.
I thought so too. I thought she might go around the corner guard in this situation. It is only the second end. Now looking at the possible roll in the top stone. It's a good play as well if you're going to play a hit.
Yeah, I like that rather than playing the back part of the rings.
Yeah, I agree. Play the stones in the back. You just leave your stone in the back. The Americans can freeze to it, sit in front of it. This way, if you make the hit and roll, you're going to be in front of the tee line, potentially behind cover. Set up your deuce. It's sort of in no man's land. Gonna get a little roll. Gonna sit in front of those stones in the back. Not really what they were looking for, though, and a good chance here for Jamie Sinclair to really try the same shot. Wants to hit on the brush side of that red stone, roll to the right of our picture as we're looking at it, ducking behind cover.
Solid 10.
Yep. Whoa. 10. Hold it. Yeah. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Roll. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Roll.
Not much roll, not much.
Good. Nice shot, Al.
Well, pretty good.
It's a good spot for the USA. It's blocking the path to the button.
I'll get it.
Now Sweden gets the inside roll and
Absolut.
doesn't kill anything at the back.
Typ 9.
They won't be shot.
Jag tror att jag behöver något om jag ska vicka. Jag behöver inte vicka. Jag tänker bara sätta raka
And there's a possibility, though, for Sarah McManus to make a double takeout, get an inside roll, and
Yep.
Sweden could be lying second shot at least. Bit of damage control here, though, for Sweden.
Yeah, there's a few half shots they haven't executed as sharp as they normally do.
1, 2, nearly 3. Nice shot.
So still it has to be dealt with. Sits second shot, top part of the rings.
Good chance here for Team USA to try to force the Swedes to take one. That would be a good result for Team USA. Going to make a play on that redstone.
Heard the comment about if we make the roll, she's just coming around. So is that why the nose hit is what they're looking for? Something they can use later?
Yeah, I think rolling underneath the guard wouldn't be awful either, but sit it on the nose, you're blocking the path to the button.
10. Yep. In. Yep.
Don't want to over curl though and maybe jam on your own at the back.
Whoa.
This one is over curling.
Yep.
Well, good alert call to make sure that they don't jam on the back one. They do lose their shooter in the process, but better than jamming that and leaving a draw to light 2.
Well, that's true, but it's definitely green light go now for Anna Hasselborg. Set that corner guard very early in the end with the intention of using it, and here's the chance. I'm trying to duck around that yellow guard in the front of our picture. Draw shot. Ideally coming to rest.
Biting forefoot maybe at most?
Yeah, biting forefoot.
Jag tänker att det kommer gå rakt. Och sen att när vi kommer vid linan så kommer det gå.
Ja, och då kommer den säkert tappa lite fart också.
Exakt, men då får ni vara med den.
Ja, det känns ändå lätt och fint.
20 eller?
Ja, 15. Ja, det tror jag är bra.
We'll get a good look, see how much it does curl. We'll finish really hard at the end.
Take a look at the interval time. The players are allowed to use stopwatches. So we'll do a split time between the two hog lines, the black lines. It's been running about 14.5 seconds between the hog lines to get to the T line. So we'll stop the clock right about here. 14.1, it'll be in the neighborhood. Making a play actually to the back stone, not coming around the guard at all. Interesting play.
Probably definitely sped up since practice. Will start a little bit slower in practice and then it get broken down. And that's part of the routine that they had in their practice.
Yeah, one of the real skills of the sport is to be able to read the ice and sense when the ice conditions are changing a bit. And in the early ends of a game, when you get a few stones thrown over a particular path, there can be a bit of a pace difference. It's not a bad shot there by Hasselborg, but
Forces the blast and keeps a blank as a possibility, unless
it does. But I'm a little surprised she made the play to the stone in the back and didn't really aggressively go for just the straight draw to try and generate a pair.
So without the hammer, Jamie Sinclair's final shot of this second end.
Big weight. Oh, beauty.
There's the blast and the roll underneath, so force back as a possibility. And
absolutely. That's guarantees the force, and Anna Hasselborg will now have to draw for a single point. We call that a force in curling. And you can force your opponent to take only one, so it's really mission accomplished for Team USA here in the second end. And this is the reason I didn't love the draw to the back of the rings, because you just bring this possibility into play. That's all hindsight now. Anna Hasselborg will have to draw the 8-foot to score a single point. USA will get the hammer back in the third. See how good that roll was. Fully behind cover.
So last stone here of the second end. Anna Hasselborg in her second World Championship. Finished 4th last year, trying to improve that finish this year.
Pretty much the same shot she threw on her first, so I'm not surprised if she makes this one without too much difficulty.
Yeah, not a lot to that one, and goes down back 4 foot, so a single point for Sweden. They are on the board first here in this morning session. 1-0, Sweden leads. Well, a 1-0 game. We begin the third end, and first time in this one, we'll have United States having the hammer.
Helicopter view of Sofia Malbergs. Yeah, moral victory for Team USA really in that second end. Great final stone by Jamie Sinclair. Hit and roll, forcing Anna Hasselborg to draw for one. Great chance for the USA to get their noses in front in this one with a pair here. See what they do with the center guard.
So you see the little difference in the strategy there. Team Sweden puts that center, and the call to the draw to the open side.
It's very conservative play and a bit surprising.
Pretty big ad.
Says to me that Jamie Sinclair's game plan for this game is really just to try to grind it out, keep the score low, keep it tight, keep themselves in the game late, try to grind it out for the win in the late going. That's one way to play it. You can certainly win games that way, but it does require a lot of nerves because it means basically playing the game to win the game on the last shot. Sits up just short. That's not bad, though. That's a really useful spot, actually.
So now the outturn come around. Sofia Malbergs, 91% through the first 3.
Ligger topp 10. Plats just nu. Ha plats. Vi kan låta den greppa. Ha plats. Så bra. Kommer där. Nu bryter den. 4. Sara närmast plats. 15-1. När du kan, Sara.
If you're brand new to our sport, those stones short of the rings, they're in the free guard zone. It's a rule in curling, the first 4 stones of the end. You're not allowed to remove an opponent's stone from play if they're sitting between the rings and the hog line, those 2 stones at the front. That means that Sweden,
Playing the freeze though, eh? Sure.
USA can't hit those stones in the front. They can hit their own if they want, but they can't hit the Swedish stone. The idea there is to generate a bit more offense, a lot more stones in play in curling. That's the intention of the free guard zone rule. Next year, World Curling will be moving to the 5-rock free guard zone rule. This tournament, one of the last tournaments that the WCF will be playing under the 4-rock free guard zone rule.
So an important setup shot here after stone tight to the rings on Walker's first.
Doesn't really want to bounce this one.
Well, Chips rolls off, and still shot stone there for Sweden. As we will keep you up to date with the other game going on. They blanked the first end, Italy and Russia. It was Diana Gaspari in Italy having the hammer. Well, they retain it into the second, and facing 3, the bronze medalist from the European Championship.
Yeah, Gaspari looking to maintain the momentum from yesterday. They had a big comeback upset win over Scotland, and see if they can maintain that momentum against unbeaten Russia today.
Yeah, and this Russian team played at the Olympics, struggled and seemed off here. Definitely looked like a different team as that one right to the 4-foot. So a single point for Italy. They lead Russia 1-0 after 2.
So we'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Again, just the 2 games going on here in session 6 of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. There are 20 sessions. We'll play round robin all the way through till Friday night here in North Bay, Canada. It's a little different, a new format this year, an extra team talked about earlier. 6 teams making the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new playoff format this year. It's going to be, I think, really fantastic. We've got, as Luke said, a little roll there, sitting in the open. 6 teams will make the playoffs, so the number 1 and the number 2 ranked team, they go straight to the semifinal. And then the number 3 ranked team will play the 6th ranked team in one qualifying game, and the number 4 ranked team will play number 5 in the other qualifying game.
Yeah, so you get 2 quarterfinals and then 2 semifinals, basically.
That's right. So the old page playoff system is gone, and now it's just like the NCAA men's basketball tournament. You win in advance and you lose and it's over. Very pure. I really love that format.
But it still gives an advantage to the teams that finish first and second that a lot of the teams like.
Absolutely.
You just don't get that second life that you had in the page system before.
Absolutely right. So there's a real reward for finishing at the top of the round robin. You go straight to that semifinal game.
And they will, it's not a locked that the 1 seed will play the winner of the 4-5 game. They'll play the lowest ranked team coming out of those 2
of all
quarterfinals.
Of the survivors. Exactly right.
So if the 5 and 6 ranked teams win, they'll play the 6 seed, the 2 will play the 5.
Correct. I think it's great. I think the fans will appreciate it. Part of that playoff system change also means that there are no tiebreaker games at this Ford World Women's Curling Championship. So the 6 teams will be determined.
Well, there's a little mistake, though.
Yeah.
Get to that 1 second, Hans, but just saw the hit and roll by Sweden, and that one, Vicky Persinger just chips it and rolls away.
Yeah, that's trouble now for Team USA, there's no doubt.
Well, and teams that have played that at the Olympics, they know the sudden death. There's 2 semifinals there. It's another tournament, and it's game by game. It just...
Absolutely. You win, you carry on. That's sport. And as far as the tiebreaker games go, the tiebreak will still be separated by head-to-head records. And so if there are 2 teams tied for that 6th and final playoff place, the team that won the round robin game would be the team that advances. If there happened to be 3 teams that were tied for that final place, they'd still do it on head-to-head record. So if one team was 2-0 and the others were 1-1 or 0-2 against them, the team with the 2-0 record would advance. But if you can't determine it, then that secondary tiebreaker is based on the last stone draws that every team does and is absolutely part of the sport. So people say, you know, you don't have tiebreaker games, it's not being settled on the ice. It's absolutely being settled on the ice. The pregame draws are part of the sport.
And look at this, draw right down to it, draw shot.
Perfect.
Right in behind to lie to, forcing the run back.
That's the team Sweden we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of half shots from both sides, and Alex Karlsson have to clear up a bit of the mess that's sitting in the forefoot right now.
Yeah, this is a big shot. Well, opens up the access to the stones in the forefoot, but still trouble here for Team USA.
With that one rolling on, Hans, does it change the mindset now for Sweden? Do you put the guard or do you hit and roll?
Well, slightly. I mean, it's one of these situations where you have to kind of feel the game a little bit, and your opponent made a mistake, and I think in those situations it's often really good to try and keep the pressure on and punish the mistake. So, little half error by your opponent, you make a great shot. They open it up. You keep the heat on. Guard it up again. Try to force the steal. It does change the mindset a little bit because, you know, if you don't, you can just go and chase it and hit it, lie 3, but then you're basically saying to Team USA, okay, we'll let you off the hook. This is a chance for Sweden to really ratchet up the pressure. That's very nice guard. Overcurls slightly, but just slightly. Shows the right angle. If you're going to overcurl, you want to overcurl on that side.
I'll try this run back again. I think Alex Karlsson had the extension, just got it out. Sometimes push it direct to the broom. Sometimes it was pushed away from where they want to hit.
And curling now, the players are being taught about this really positive release on arena ice. You want to have lots of rotation. This one's a nicer run back. Gets some contact, but leaves 2 Swedish stones both behind cover now.
And that top one really spun off that. Watch as it comes into the house. Look at this stone they run in, how lively it is. Jumps off that, didn't look like it was going anywhere, and it just continued to roll away.
Yeah, you can watch the handle. It's still rotating, and it caught, 3/4, 7/8. You hear a lot of talk about the lively rocks. I mean, they're not pinball machines. They do move, but USA lying 2 guarded now, or Sweden rather lying 2 guarded.
Bring another one in.
Trouble. Yeah, some real trouble here.
Not a lot of access to that one on the top of the forefoot, and those are 2 run backs that you need from your team to open things up.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Team USA, if there is any good news here, is that the stones in front of the rings belong to them. So if they're going to run stones in, at least they're going to be promoting their own stones into the scoring area. And Hasselborg, she can't take everything away. There's a straight run back, and there's an angle run in for Jamie Sinclair. Anna Hasselborg just try to tuck one around that center guard. Now the stone's making a move. Just leaving it short. Really safe play.
Yeah, I thought they might try and take that one right into the rings,
Me
but
too.
It's not a bad position where it ended up.
No, not at all. It's doing the primary job, which is blocking the path to the shot rock. Perhaps Anna thinking if we come around to the top 12, maybe we just expose our shot on the button a little bit, so by leaving it high. takes away that path. Just by the broom position here, it might be the double clear, red onto yellow, and maybe get a little action on that yellow one and run it into the rings.
Thanks.
Her other choice might have been the straight run back on her own shot, but
This gives her some options if she can make this double peel.
you can get a 2-for-1 here. Open it up and promote a stone.
Well, Jamie Sinclair, born in Anchorage, Alaska, lives in St. Paul, Minnesota.
This one's got some curling to do. Catches it thin, no action on the one stone in the center.
Now I really think a good opportunity if Hasselborg can come in.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then got to draw it to the side of the button. For one, I don't.
Well, this time it doesn't matter if this stone over curls if you throw it into the top of the 8-foot. Hasselborg seems content just to throw it short of the rings again. Leave Jamie Sinclair an out-turn draw to the pin.
And Jamie hasn't thrown a draw since practice.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a bit surprised that Anna's not choosing to bring this one into the 8-foot and really cut down the scoring area even further for Jamie Sinclair. By leaving it short of the rings on the right-hand side, we see that whole out-turn side is open for Jamie. So if she can draw even into the 4-foot, even if you drop a single point here, it's bad, but it's not a disaster. Don't want to drop 2 or 3, though.
Yeah, I thought a top 8-foot really sort of keep the pressure on, and that draw be even more pressure filled.
Well, this one's got a bit more pace on it, so they are definitely coming into the rings. That is the call. Oh, very nice shot. Very nice shot by Anna Hasselborg. Now the pressure's on.
I think that changes what. Do you have to try and come down and play a little tap-tap to move one of them out? Just give them steal a 1?
Well, let's listen. I think no choice is a good one here.
Biscuits. I don't think it goes out far enough. Well, I would with peel, but it's tougher than the draw, I think.
Jamie's instinct is to draw. I tend to agree. If you throw it into that button area, it's just throw it to the button, Jamie.
Yeah, just put it on the button.
But if you get it into that button area, great look at it here on the overhead. If you get into that white button area, worst you're going to do is going to drop 1.
They threw a couple down this path, though.
If you try that bump on the right-hand side of our picture as we're looking at it, throw it a little bit heavy, you're maybe dropping 2. But tough shot.
I talked about looking at playing big weight on possibly if the triple was there. This facing 3 and the first draw of the game for Jamie Sinclair.
Should be close. Line's good.
Jamie likes it.
Line's good. Right on tee. Line's good.
I'll get this one full 4-foot.
Oh, great brushing, but it's going to come up short, and I think it's a steal of 2.
It is going to be a steal of 2 for Sweden, so they increase their lead now 3-0 as Sinclair's first draw comes up short, and Sweden gets another steal.
Men här är det ju, du får verkligen leta på att det går tyngre här. Alltså rakt av bara. Den här var fan.
Well, the steal of 2. It all started with a miss by Team USA's second, Vicky Persinger, chipping a stone, and they were chasing throughout. They couldn't ever make that bailout shot. Led to a steal of 2 for Sweden, who's trying to become the second team to go Olympic gold, world gold.
Sophia Moberg's 91%.
Lite tajtare än de andra.
At the lead position for Sweden, and yeah, for Jamie Sinclair and Team USA, this is a situation you definitely didn't want to be in. Down 3 to the Olympic
Hela
champion.
vägen. Fullt håll.
10 ends in the game, though. So for Team USA, the game plan here, you don't need to get all 3 back at once. It is important that you score here, though. Very nice shot by Mobergs.
So tight center line guard, and
Det är bra.
USA doesn't have much choice. They need to put the corner guard up.
Yep, it's you don't mind have that center guard there. You might be able to use that yourself if you're Team USA. The reason that was such a good shot by Mobergs is so close to the rings. If the USA does get one behind it, it's a relatively short run back for Sweden. Is Monica Walker.
She's 88%. Good numbers as well, though, for
Line's pretty
the American lead.
good. 1. Bring it 2. Gotta go 2. No,
There are different ways you can play the end to try to score 2 points. You can go ultra aggressive, almost be thinking about trying to score 3, and then 2 is kind of a byproduct. Or you can play it a little bit more conservatively and just try to go for stone separation and score an old school deuce, a Ken Watson deuce I call it. And just sort of throw it on the sides of the house and just try to trade shots, and you know that the most you're going to score is 2. So there's different philosophies to how you actually generate offense in curling.
Det är lugnt. 8, eller? 8-4. 8-4. Ha lite curl, men det är jättelugnt.
Nära Agnes, var nära.
Okej, vi har plats.
Bara in. Den är bak 14-4.
Vi är bak igen.
Bra.
Den är snart bra, men ligger tid.
Good looking stone here for Sweden. Just fractionally past that tee line.
So goes back 4 foot, lies 1 here in our feature game as we'll look over Italy and Russia. Italy leads 1-0, but Russia opportunity to score 2 with this intern draw. Victoria Moisheva
Back line. Yep.
wasn't an Olympic run she wants to remember, but you want to use the disappointment and
Yeah, kind of the opposite of Anna Hasselborg's team. Instead of trying to maintain the performance, you're looking to just kind of forget the performance and treat this like a brand new thing. And so far for Victoria Moisieva and her teammates, it's going pretty well, and that's a deuce for them.
right in, lie 2, or score 2, pardon me, to take a 2-1 lead after 3. For that Russian side, they beat Anna Sidorova 4-1 in their qualifier to get to the Olympics, and then here be the team to play at the World Championship. That Anna Sidorova team is the reigning world silver medalist too, so it's not you knocked off a mediocre team. They beat a good team 4-1 in a best of 7.
No, that's absolutely right. Anna Sidorova is here this week as the alternate for Team Moisieva. But yeah, Team Moisieva, former European champions. Here's Agnes Nottenhauer.
Their first trip to a world championship.
Yeah. But in winning the European Championship, they beat teams of real class and quality. So we know they can play. And they're showing their potential here early in the tournament. Unbeaten so far. Long week, though. 12 games. It's a long round robin.
That's a lot less firm than I had, so you know. It'll cook. I'll feed it.
Bit of discussion here in the hack. Just players are always comparing notes about how much this piece of the ice is curling. Did you throw one down here earlier in the game? Is it a bit trackier here?
Line's good.
Great
2.
teams do that. They're always providing feedback.
Line's good. Come on. Running good. Take a look. 2. 2's good. Easy. Easy.
The
Let it die,
essential
let it die.
skill in curling is how hard to throw the rock. At this level, the players can all throw it. They can all slide straight. They can throw it at the target. But how hard you throw it the weight that you throw on the stone. The ability to control that to the millimeter, that's the essential skill. And you'll hear the players in the hack when they're getting ready to throw. It sounds like an accountancy firm or a stockbroker, you know, 14-5, 13-2, and what they're talking about are the readings on the stopwatch. And they won't even use tenths of a second. Sometimes they use hundredths of a second. If they're doing interval timing between the back line and the hog line, they'll say, okay, we'll throw it 398, 3.98 seconds. And they know what that feels like. Oh, nice little inside roll there. Covering the path to the shot rock. Interesting end brewing here. Opportunities for both teams. Sweden will be thinking steal. USA will be thinking, great, guards up the front. We got one in there. Maybe there's deuce here.
Sweden already with a steal. It was their 7th of the tournament already. They get the steal of 2 to go up 3-0.
They like to hit. Yeah. Well, it's kind of a corner guard. I hate to hit it when we're down 3. Go talk to her, Alex.
I like the way that Jamie's thinking about this.
Yeah, but it's not corner enough to help us. I just think it's hard to. I don't think that's going to be a scoring rock either way. So.
Yeah.
Like I hit no other.
I just feel like if we do this, they cap it, and now we're chasing 3 rocks behind here that are going to be angled in there.
If we're going to hit a rock, I'd rather hit the center one than that one.
I mean, we can either hit and roll over here, but I don't mind playing this to, even if we just move them back and try and stick over here. Yeah. You're just trying to get more behind there.
I like this.
Like that?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jamie Sinclair using her prerogative at the end of the day to say, all right, I've considered those options, but I really do like the draw. Get it in front of that stone. Both of the options are valid. You could move the front stones and either push them back behind the tee line or just clear it. Jamie Sinclair thinking, we're down. Get this thing in front of that. We'd be lying 1.
Guards are a good thing for them right now.
Absolutely
or stones
right.
in play, I should say.
Absolutely. Jamie says we're 3 down. Why would we be removing guards when we're 3 down?
Good. Top 4. Hard line. 5. Hard line. Really hard line. Hard line. 7. Hard line.
It's that element of risk we were talking about. You have to take some risks when you're scoring multiple points, and this is a risk. Have to get it by that guard. Just feathering it.
Hard. Okay. Good.
Well, it'll just nibble the top of the forefoot. But that little rub.
Yeah, really needed this one past that front stone. Just grazed it. Talked about that millimeter precision. That one just needed another 6 inches of weight. It was fine. But it wasn't. So Sarah McManus now. Chance for a little delicate weight hitting. She could get a little bit of an inside roll behind the cover, and then the USA is in a world of hurt.
Sarah McManus, a little bit off so far this week, just at 95%.
Yeah, she's really struggling. No, that's spectacularly good numbers for Sarah McManus.
Trying to get the little roll inside.
Now no choice for Jamie Sinclair but to open up the front. After missing that chance on the freeze, now you're in a situation where you have to shift gears and say we have to settle for scoring 1 now.
But it's interesting to see every team's got different dynamics of how making call, and they didn't agree, but Jamie said, I like this one better, but you got a good look at that, the U.S. dynamics of how the team operates.
Yeah.
Easy.
And thought process. And well, eventually you have to settle on a shot. You know, we do have time clocks, and so you can discuss the options for quite a long time. And usually, when you're having a discussion, there are 2 viable options, sometimes 3.
Double peel those top ones. They're hoping to clip the one in the 8-foot as well.
Not a bad shot, though. There's 2 options now for the USA. They've got to run in. But anyways, back to the discussions about the options. Then once you settle on a shot, basically any decision that you make is a good one when you execute. So after you make your choice, if you make the shot, it's usually good.
And when things are rolling, those discussions become fewer and shorter and shorter because it's, well, we'll just, whatever we play, we're going to make. And
yeah, and that is the confidence thing. When you feel like, we talk about being in the zone, and Anna Hasselborg and her team felt like they've been in the zone all year, that, yeah, every option you look at, you feel like you can make. And that's a great, great feeling.
So with Sweden peeling that out, now an opportunity to draw in here for Alex Carlson.
Jamie Sinclair still trying to use that guard, still trying to generate a deuce here, put a little pressure on Anna Hasselborg. Furling, it's always a game of trying to force your opponent into a tougher shot than they'd like to play. And diving, when we're doing scoring, you're thinking about degrees of difficulty, and you're always trying to force your opponent into a higher degree of difficulty shot than they'd like. That's a pretty good stone there. Not sure who's shot, but it's corner frozen.
Well, leaves two options now. And
there's a great look at it. Eagle eye from Mom says, yeah, it's yellow. See how much that stone of Alex is curled though around that guard. Curled all the way around the guard, popped out the other side, corner frozen on the stone on the button. Great shot. There's a good look at it. Fully buried behind that yellow guard. Perfect.
Now if a good angle is put on this, then Sweden has that red one later on with Anna's last that she could play.
Yeah. There are some options. USA is definitely going to have to take, going to have to go to a pretty uncomfortable place if they're going to score two here.
But that shot will help try and set up at least a score opportunity.
That was a really important one. You just feel like USA needs a confidence booster to get them a bit of momentum. 95% for Anna Hasselborg as well. Really, really good shooting. We talked about that degree of difficulty. This is a, this is the toughest shot that Anna's had to throw so far in this game. She's throwing guards. Now she has to get to that stone on the button. Has to have perfect weight while she's doing it. Just squeaks the guard. Makes it look pretty easy. That's not.
They don't get shot, but they keep a real good angle on that one.
Yeah, they sit their stone right in front of the USA shot rock. Now the challenge for Team USA is, okay, might be line one, but how do we get a second one in there?
Yeah. Even if we roll behind, then she comes here. Yeah, but I might. Wow. I like trying to stay. That's a tough shot for her.
Yeah. I think we have to move that one.
It just opens it up maybe for a draw for two. I don't mind those. And you can't use it. Just control. Yeah. Should move on this
USA bench looking on as Sinclair and Carlson talk about the options. Does look like a play on that stone in the front of the 8-foot. I heard Jamie say even on the nose isn't bad.
It's hopefully that Hasselborg doesn't will leave an opportunity to play it later. Right now it is shot stone for Team USA.
Should be gradual.
If Sinclair leaves this stone right on the nose of her target rock, it'll be something that she could use on her last, just to tap forward for one or maybe two.
Jamie Sinclair
shot here.
76%. Her first world championship. Kind of fitting. She's playing far for. She grew up in Manotick, Ontario, just outside of Ottawa. Well, the little roll and actually,
one of those situations where you didn't really want the inside roll. Does take away the path for Anna Hasselborg a little bit to get to the stone that she just threw.
Antingen ner eller att man skulle bara lägga sig här så att hon har svårt att komma in och få.
We believe the USA is lying one right now. There's another look at it from our overhead. Yellowstone belongs to the USA.
Alltså, det som ger oss mest marginaler att spela det här slaget är att komma ner och se spontant den här tycker jag.
Surrounded by 2 red Swedish stones.
Det var det jag funderade på också. Att om man skulle ha marginalen här, så att allt de skjuter in dit så sticker väl den här. Ja, det gör det.
Ja, 5-man.
Few options here for Sweden. They could just draw to the button themselves.
Om vi breddar här,
Maria
vad
Pritz,
fan gör de för
Thea
två
Lindholm
då?
saying, if they call us on the ice, what are we going to say?
Ge oss själva mer marginal och gör den än att vi så här
I don't think
råkar
this
ge
is a
en
situation where you
ganska
need a
enkel
Säger vi
timeout.
här så är det ganska, eller här så är det ju väldigt enkelt ändå. Eller det är det i och för sig inte.
I och för sig inte, men
Då kan de spela den.
det är bara för 2 fortfarande.
Ja, ja, gud ja.
Ja,
Jag tror vi lär bredda, eller?
jag gillar båda. Jag tycker det är ungefär lika. Liksom, att
What they're considering is where they put the stone.
Jag gillar den. Alltså bara
Let's
där.
make sure we put it in a place where we can't give them a shot for 2.
Vad sa du?
bara släppa.
Ja, det är vi jävligt nöjda
Well, do you guard? Do you block off that draw path, or do you come right in and
Jag tycker bara inte att vi måste inte
get
göra
even
det
get shot
svårare.
stone? But if we get shot stone, are we giving something to them?
Well, they are in fact going to call a timeout, so Maria and Peja
Jag tycker
will
bara
have
så
to
här,
settle on what advice they're going to provide.
Jag har ju dragit här om vi tänker.
Don't normally see a timeout in the 4th end, but
No.
I think they know a point. We could steal, go up more, or a deuce gets the U.S. right back in the game.
Yeah, 3 up, and I think this team is a team that plays the percentages so much.
Då har vi också gaddat draget för ett. Så
I
egentligen
think it's a
så här, om vi
situation
tänker
where you're
bara,
happy to give them one.
vad finns-
Get the hammer
finns
back
det
2
någonstans
up.
där vi kan lägga oss nu som skulle kunna ge en
dubbel är så här.
Here comes Maria
Nej,
Pritz.
för tre menar jag.
Nej, inte för
Men det
tre.
ska vara här.
Nej.
Jo, men då
Ja,
kan
det
de
är
spela
här.
insidan.
Här kan du lägga upp en trippel om du hamnar där. Att du hamnar
Nej, jag skulle säga där.
Tja, tja.
Hur tänker ni?
Inte bort bärarna.
Vad är målet med omgången?
Jo, för det
Ja, det var ju att forsa, men,
var ju att forsa.
men det känns som att man har ett litet läge. Men
Vi
man
har ett
kanske inte
litet
ska-
läge,
man
men vi har
kanske inte
riktigt
ska vara för
bra,
kåt, men-
bra läge på forcen också.
Ja.
Precis. Det
Du,
är bara frågan om
du
så här-
gillade den, eller?
Spontana
Fritz.
är den.
Echoing my advice, she says the force is great. Give them one.
Vi har haft sådana här lägen där vi tidigare så här, det har legat.
Det är bara det att jag tänker att även om jag är här så är
Så är
det
det
två.
en gard,
Så är det en gard.
Ja, då har man ju ändå
tänker,
sett till.
även om du är här, nu
Så är
kanske
det
den
en gard.
kallar över lite om
Ja.
det blir kort.
Så får du en enkeldragning med stöd för 3, alltså för 2.
Det är inte så
Ja, men,
enkelt
ja,
ändå
men precis, heller. men om vi är här
Vad man
så...
kallar det.
Det känns ju spontant som att vi ändå försöker argumentera att vi vill hit.
Ja, jag gillar det, Maria.
Är ni sugna på det så gör det.
Jag är sugen.
Så spelar vi med
Bring the plane to that 4-foot
så vi
area.
kan göra
Jag
något
tänker bara,
av den
det
i så
finns
fall.
väl en trippel.
Absolutely, you might be able to
Det finns
steal.
väl en trippel här. Alltså sätta den emellan, TT,
Should you increase the
ute
slight risk?
och
Which gives the
den.
Americans an
Men
easier
måste ha
shot for 2.
undersida på den för
Ja.
att komma ner och då tappar hon ju där. Alltså hon har ingen undersida
Nej.
utan att nudda den här. Hon kan
Nej, det finns ett teoretiskt. Men gillar du den här, Maria, så gillar jag den.
Jag tycker den är bra. Jag har ingenting emot den här
spelar den
heller.
dit och så sopar vi den
Ja,
dit.
exakt.
Vi spelar den här.
Det är samma linje som Fia.
Jag var lite tajt då.
Seem to have settled on coming into the top of the 4-foot after all that.
Gillar du Sara? Ja.
Was that the broom placement you got out of that, or how's your Swedish?
My Swedish is not that good, but what I did hear Maria Pritz say is force, and that's really the key thought here for Team Sweden. Are you trying to steal the end, or are you trying to force the USA to score 1? And through all that discussion, it's where do we put our stone that makes it impossible for Jamie Sinclair to get to? And they seem to have settled, certainly along this outturn path.
Samma då.
We think just ducking a corner around that stone, in the yellow stone in the front of the 8-foot, biting the top of the 4-foot. But execution tolerance, if you're 3 feet light, that's fine.
Bra linje.
Bra pass!
Jättefin linje.
Final shot, leading 3-0. Anna Hasselborg.
Curlen ut. Centrala linje. Perfekt linje, tjejer. Avplats. Perfekt linje. Plats. Agnes.
This one needs to curl. They want to duck around that Yellowstone if they can. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Right down to it. Not quite frozen, but sits right on the button.
Bra boll tjejer.
Is there a shot?
Is there a shot now for 2? That was
I
always the
think
danger.
you may have to play that top in the double raise.
Well, Jamie Sinclair's having a look at it. We'll take a look at this replay here. Knockenhauer being asked to brush it. They do want to tuck around that Yellowstone. Comes to rest right on the pin. Sweden lying 1, but Hasselborg,
Same as last time, easy pick.
she can only watch and wait as Jamie Sinclair and Alex Carlson, they line up this double raise.
I think it might be there for 2.
I think it is.
Whereas if you throw the guard, if you're out in front, that they talked about, you'd have to play the out-turn draw for the second point.
Hair high.
Yeah, you can't guard everything, and we talked about degree of difficulty earlier. In the end, you try to leave the toughest shot possible. Shot here for Jamie Sinclair, trying to hit that yellow stone in the front left of our picture. Yellow onto red, double take out to lie two. Really, really risky, but there is a shot for two here.
Well, the American skip. Final stone of this fourth end. Trying to go yellow, yellow.
Easy.
No. No.
Stone has to curl. Not going to do it.
Will it be steal of more by hitting it that way? It won't. It'll just be a steal of one. Another one. So another steal for Sweden. They'll have a 4-0 lead through 4 ends of this session 6 game, trying to stay unbeaten. Looking strong to do that, up by 4.
Jag vill ändå säga när chansen bjuds så bara nu vill man att det ska skrida.
Men nu håller vi lite mer tempo då.
Fan vad lång tid. 2 minuter där.
Well, another steal by Sweden. Now a 4-0 lead. And it has
Cruise
been
mode.
Sweden controlling. They haven't been pushed yet, and
Running it.
there they get the miss by Jamie Sinclair on her final shot. Another well-played end by Sweden. As you said, the Swedish machine just keeps rolling on.
Yeah, they are playing really, really well. You will have to have your, not just your A game to beat Anna Hasselborg, you're going to need your A+ game to beat Anna Hasselborg.
Hade du för långa?
Well, and Sweden knows both these teams will be on 2-game days today, and Sweden will take on the Olympic silver medalist in their game tonight.
That should
Not
be fun.
looking too much ahead. They still have to finish off this game here, so we play in the 5th. I know Korea will be geared up for that game.
Yeah. Eun Jung Kim, Team Kim. Every player on that team has the surname Kim.
Can't go wrong. It's the Kim. The Garlic Girls.
Makes it easier for the uniform makers. Makes it harder for people sorting out the laundry.
So first stone in, corner guard out in front. Watching live coverage of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlove here this morning,
Gå, gå, gå.
or afternoon, or evening, depending where you're watching from.
Gå, Sara. Ja, gå, gå, gå. Linje också. Hårt.
Trying to close this one up, cover up that stone in the house.
Den är betydligt högre.
It doesn't quite cover it, as we will keep up to date. The other game going on, Italy and Russia. Russia leading 2-1 and lying a couple. Diana Gaspari trying to avoid the steal. Trying to get one, even this game up. And Gaspari, who got on a run at the Europeans, won the bronze medal. As the Romei
Oh, no, 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 no.
coming down, will they catch any? That one, fortunate hits that one to slow down, and it's a steal of 2 for
feet
Russia.
heavy.
And Russia goes up 4-1 in that game. Russia looking to stay unbeaten, along with Sweden.
Guard clearing time for Team Sweden back in our feature match. Agnes Knockenhauer loves playing these clearing shots. So good at it. Talk about the composition of a top flight curling team, and every player has sort of specialties, and one of the attributes in a second stone is the ability to throw clearing guard shots or run back big takeout weights with accuracy. And Agnes Knockenhauer, in women's curling, one of the best in the world at the second stone position. And this is what makes this Swedish team so difficult to come back on, because if they get a lead, Knockenhauer, McManus, Hasselborg, they can all throw that big, accurate takeout weight, which is such a weapon.
Yep, yep, yep. Keep going, keep going. Line's good. It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good.
Then replace the guard. It is a 4-0 lead only. Get a deuce back and keep yourself in it.
Yeah.
A little demoralizing, though, giving up the back-to-back steals after you played a good second end and got the force.
Well, that's right. It was a very difficult shot for the 2 in the last end. Double raise, angle double raise, really, really tough. But you're exactly right, Luke. You get a pair here and go to the 5th end break, regroup a little bit, talk with your coach, have a snack, and you're thinking, okay, 2 down at the break. We're still in the game. So the USA, important for them. Just keep composed, get a pair here.
Well, the thin peel doesn't catch anything else in the rings, gets away with a little bit of the miss hit on that one, not quite as much as they wanted to get rid of it. But as they say, there's no pictures in the scorebook.
Yeah, when you're throwing it that hard, you don't need much of the contact of the rock to make it a good result. Vicky Persinger.
Line's tighter. No, 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 no. Line's tight. Line's okay. Line's tight. Come on. All right, it's pretty good. Pretty good. 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 Good sweep.
Well, continuing to guard up that stone, sitting in the side of the 8-foot. It is second shot. We'll have to make a play on shot stone later in the end.
A tjock halv.
Helt okej, sätta in målet också.
Rent. Japp. Wow. Japp. Wow. Wow. Japp. Japp. Wow. Wow. Härligt.
Bra, snyggt.
Oh, another peel. This time Sarah McManus gets rid of the front.
Vi lär ju behöva gå på skotten, eller annars någon gång.
Yeah, this team executes so well. The fundamentals are really, really sound.
Yeah, this path's kind of warm. 20, 25,
Get a lead.
positive.
You know you're going to be clearing. Make the
Jag
clears.
ska kolla på hur boet ligger. Och
It's a bit early in the game to be playing the scoreboard if you're Anna Hasselborg, but if you maintain a 3 or a 4 point lead into the 5th or 6th or 7th end, you start to think, yeah, drop 2, score 1, drop 2, score 1, you still win the game.
Line's really good.
At some point, you just start managing the scoreboard as much as you start managing your opponent.
Line's good.
Sit. Fighting.
No prizes for winning by 12.
Right.
You just get a W or an L.
Yeah, the for and against point differential doesn't mean anything other than, as you said,
It's kind of
wins or
interesting.
losses. Well, a
Yeah.
perfect example is keep referring to the Olympics just recently happening. The Nicholas Adine men's team that was so dominant was far and away the plus minus the best team there, top team in the round robin. And when it comes to one game, it doesn't mean anything.
Not a thing.
They go out and they lost the final. Disappointing for them, the U.S. team playing well and earning that gold medal. But
Yeah.
they don't get it. You get into the playoffs, and we'll see that here as well. Once you get in the playoffs, what you did in the round robin means nothing.
Yeah, it's a brand new tournament.
Hack or
Get
back
yourself to
line?
the playoff
Hack?
round. Everybody's on 0-0.
I think that's minimal hack room. I think that's okay because you got to be tight.
3/4 of it available for Carlson. Her intern, right-hander.
I'm a little wide.
Good hack. Easy. Yep. Oh. Easy. Oh.
Playing hack at this. Hack
Oh.
weight.
Good hack.
Hard enough to reach
Come
the
on,
hack
go,
at the
go,
far
come
end.
on. Come on, go. Yep. Yep.
Lets the stone
Yep.
curl a little bit more as it travels down the ice.
Yep.
Just enough to ease it through the rings.
Yeah, good management there to sweep to get that late finish. Try and get it as close to the nose there as possible.
Alltså, vad sa du? Den är tuff. Va? Den är
So
tuff.
chance for the deuce here for the Americans.
Jag menar, vi har inga alternativ. Det är sådana fall. Kan hon inte vicka in?
Awkward angle for Sweden if you're going to try the double takeout. You'd have to hit that really thin.
Det jag inte gillar är bara att det blir lite långt. Nej. Då rundar hon här. Då får jag ändå någonting svårt.
Debate here is, do you hit the front stone, sit in front of the stone on the left of our picture, or do you hit the back stone and try to roll to the back of the forefoot and maybe get shot?
Ja, men spela så då.
I personally think I like hitting the top one. The roll behind is such a short little run back.
I agree. It's
Vicka precis.
safer play, particularly when you're up 4. Get rid of the front stone. Sit your own stone in a very annoying place right in front of the other shot, then your opponent has to deal with it.
Jag körde någon 11 här som ändå fick hyfsat skall.
Fast den hade ändå ingen finish. Den låg ju på
Nej,
tjack.
det
Det
hade
hade
den
rent hela vägen. Så det skulle bli...
Det var till och med så.
Sarah McManus holding the target brush.
Vågar vi ha mindre?
That's the aim point for Anna Hasselborg. Looking for a little bit of a roll to the right as we're looking at it on this overhead. I'd like to sit in front of that stone, just rolls a fraction further than she would have liked. Now, good chance for Team USA to set up their pair. If they can duck one behind that center guard at the top of our picture, they'd be in really nice shape.
That should be a hair less than what I gave last time. 11.
We'll have to get it full into that red forefoot circle, maybe just bite the front of the button behind that center guard.
Yeah, that rolls 2 rocks less and it's shot stone, then you have to deal with it. And
Yeah.
now Team USA try and take advantage.
Okay. So a couple feet more than the last draw you threw on this top. Sounds good.
Sinclair and Persinger just comparing notes on the weight. Important shot for Jamie Sinclair. Trying to set up a deuce.
Well done. 7, guys. Gotta go back. Line's good. Line's good. Can't.
We'll look over Italy, Russia as well. Look in 4-1, Russia leading. And looks like it is one for sure, possibly a second Italian counter
Yeah, pretty close.
on the
there.
right-hand side of your picture. But the hit here, you got to be careful though. You could peel this out and score your 2 for Diana Gaspari. I think that's maybe the safest call.
Wow, a great chance to make a play for a 3, though. When you're down 3.
Really trying to sweep, get to the inside and giving it a chance. Do they roll it on?
I think so.
I think they do.
It's at least 3,
So
maybe
it is
4.
3. I believe it is the 3 for Italy.
That's a great shot. Great shot.
It is 4, so
Yeah. Forza
now
Italia.
the lead 5-4.
Terrific shot. I really like that call by Gaspari. When you're down 3, you get very few chances in a game to go for a 3 or a 4. Even if it's risky, you got to have a shot at it. Speaking of a shot at it, Jamie Sinclair's draw went to the back of the 8-foot, but the USA still lying 2, so still a chance for the pair, but slightly better angle now for Anna Hasselborg, and she's got some options. She can hit and roll to the inside, just a lie shot, or if she hits it thin, she can make a double takeout.
And it looks like that's the call here to try and make that. All the way, do they make the double just too thick?
Right across the top.
Narrow right away. Opportunity. Cut the lead in half into the 5th end break for Team USA.
Well, that's the opportunity that the USA has been waiting for. Right in between the 2 shots here, the hit and the roll or the double takeout. As Luke said, it was definitely the double all the way. Just a little bit inside, catch it a little bit thick, rolls across the top. All of a sudden, draw the 8-foot, the USA gets a pair.
Well, she knows she let the US off the hook, and where Sinclair went with that one. And
yeah, nice shot for Jamie Sinclair. Just the same shot she just threw, right down the exact same path.
Out-turn draw for Team USA to get on the board. Make it a 4-2 game.
Feels like less to me.
Yeah, it feels for less. Just cleaning.
Line's good. Clean if you can. Line's close.
So 2 half shots by Anna Hasselborg, and that allows the US the opportunity to score 2.
Looks fine, well by the guard, no problem there. Easily into the 8-foot, into the 4-foot, right to the button area where the forward logo is. USA's on the board. That's a big pair.
That is right back into it. Cuts the lead in half. Still some work to do, but on the board, 4-2 is the score after 5.
Highlights of our feature match. 3rd end of play. Sweden, USA. Anna Hasselborg of Sweden trying to put the pressure on Jamie Sinclair of Team USA here. Draws it right on top of her own stone, leaving a very difficult final shot for Jamie Sinclair of Team USA. USA has the hammer here in the 3rd. Forced to draw the button. Walker Persinger trying to sweep this stone into the button area, but it's going to come up just short. And it is a steal of 2 for Sweden. Fourth end action. USA, Yellowstone, just has shot rock in the back of the button. Anna Hasselborg, Olympic gold medalist. Draws it right on the pin. But has she left Jamie Sinclair of the USA a makeable shot for 2? Sinclair thinks so. She's going to try a double raise takeout. But it just undercurls, and it's another steal for Sweden. Sweden stealing a single point in the 4th. Just the two matches here in session 6 here at the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. Italy with a huge 4-point end, leaping in front of Russia 5-4. They're playing now in the 6th. We're at the 5th end break in our feature match. Sweden holding a 4-2 lead over Team USA. An important deuce for the Americans in the 5th end, bringing them back into this contest. We're live from the North Bay Memorial Gardens here in Northern Ontario. Team Sweden having a chat here at the 5th end break. Luke, they'd be feeling pretty happy with where they're at this point in the game.
Yeah, comfortable position and nice relaxed feeling for them. The hammer into the second half and a 2-point lead.
Five ends yet to play. 10 ends are scheduled. If the scores are tied after 10, of course, we'll play an extra end. Anna Hasselborg, the Olympic champion, trying to carry that on here in North Bay. Jamie Sinclair, Team USA. They know they're in tough, but that deuce in the 5th was really important, I think, psychologically for them, Luke. That will make them feel like, you don't feel like you're in the game until you score.
Well, it's a tough road back when you don't score. You're not getting any closer. They played a solid second end and got a force and then give up the steals. We look at the numbers throughout and advantage Sweden. No, surprising seeing the scoreboard, but the 3 stolen points.
Yeah, 3 stolen points are huge, but look at
all
that
in the 90s.
There's 97% on the draws. That's outstanding.
And the U.S. isn't playing poorly.
No, I said when you're
good numbers,
when you're shooting 85% as a team and you're getting really convincingly outplayed, that's pretty scary stuff.
Well, we start the second half of this one, and Team USA started off like we're looking for a long center line guard. Might go into the 2 center line guard to really try and force Sweden and Anna Hasselborg.
Yeah, this will be an important end. Yeah, of course, they're all important, but for Team Sweden, you've just had control of the game and then given up a deuce, and now you got the hammer back.
Sofia Maberg's 98% on the game, 92 overall.
Yeah, that's really outstanding play at the lead position. With the introduction of the free guard zone into the sport of curling in the 1980s, it really elevated the importance of the lead position. It was always important, but now the setup of the lead stones really dictates the play of the entire end. So if you've got a lead that's getting stones in great locations in the free guard zone, quite often you're dictating the play. So if your lead player is getting things set up for you, and here's 98% for Monica Walker, she's having an outstanding game as well. Arguably, for me, you know, the lead player in terms of the importance and the skill is really probably number 2 on the team to the skip for me. Everybody has to have all the shots, of course. Back in the old days, the lead player, you know, you can kind of get away with it a bit.
Well, that one comes in. I don't know if they're intending to have it come all the way into the rings. Now see a tick shot with one on the side.
Stones in the free guard zone between the rings and the hog line. You can touch your opponent's stone and you can reposition it, but you cannot remove it entirely from play. If it's removed from play, it comes back, gets replaced.
Well, it doesn't get that one, but know that they could tap that one.
Stones in the house, of course, you are free to hit and remove from play. That one doesn't get removed from play, it just goes to the back of the 12-foot circle.
Well, weight control is really important there. They knew they had a couple of different options. If it did get by the top one, that they would get the one in the rings.
Yeah. Always good to have a plan B. We just overhear the Americans, the Hackett saying, yeah, playing for a force here. what they're saying there is if we can force Sweden to take one, get 2 back, we'd only be trailing by 1. So that's definitely the formula. Vicky Persinger.
Just can't give up multiple points here in this one. Good numbers for Vicky Persinger as well.
Bit of room.
Yeah, the basic strategy of curling, when you've got last rock, you're trying to score 2, and when you don't have last rock, you're trying to force your opponent to take 1. The Americans can trade 2s for 1s for the rest of the game. They'll win this game.
Gotta go. Hard. Hard, gotta go. All the way, keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, 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 go. Good sweep.
So a few rocks in play now, and it's blast away time now for Anna Hasselborg. Free guard zone part of the end is over, so Agnes Knockenhauer is free to hit stones, and hit them she will.
Well, we've seen teams that have had a lot of success in the game as the second position, playing those hits. You look at the past Olympic champions, Knockenhauer. You look at Jill Officer with team the 2014 champs, Catherine Lindahl, with Annette Norberg. And
yeah, if you haven't got a second player that can really double clear guards, and Knockenhauer makes it look easy, double clears the front all of a sudden, now no guards in play, then you're really going to struggle at the top level because of that free guard zone rule. Stones will accumulate at the lead position, and if you haven't got a second stone that can tidy them up every once in a while, you're going to be chasing the whole end.
Well, trying to hit back is Vicky Persinger, but will jam it on the second one, roll away.
Köper väl också bra.
Knockenhauer has a chance to hit a stone in the rings for a change.
Wants to stay around. She's not used to doing that. She's been hitting and rolling out.
For once not aiming at a quarter of the rock.
Makes the hit. Lies 2 here in this 6th end.
Great separation for the stones for Sweden. There you see the distance between those 2 red stones. Really no realistic crosshouse double takeout. It's going to jam on that stone behind all day long.
I thought they might try and even hit the other one, try and roll in. Because to roll towards the other one, you jam on this stone here for Alex Carlson.
So because the guards are gone, the mission for Team USA is to try and get into a situation where you're going to force Sweden just to score a single point. But the 2 is on the brew here for Team Sweden.
If they execute their shots, should be able to score a deuce. 98%. She's picking up her game. She was a little lower earlier.
She was struggling a bit earlier at 95. She was lifted up to 98. That's incredible. I mean, this individual shooting percentage stat, we're just giving her the commentator's curse. She's going to hit and roll out. Maybe hang around. Okay, we'll give her 3 out of 4 for that.
Just rolls a little too far, so it is third shot.
Third shot, yes.
So US now, their turn with that little swing.
That does bring the force into play now. The USA, if they can nose hit, they'll be lying 2 and make it a little more difficult for Sweden to get their pair. Might force them to take a single point. But yeah, shooting percentages. If you've got team shooting percentages in the 90+ range, you're winning just about every game you're playing.
It does help some of the percentage degree of difficulty for the Swedish team. A little bit lower than what we've seen for the US. They're trying to pressure shots and right back, so.
You see Carlson roll out of the rings. That was a mistake for the USA. Needed that one to stay in the rings to force the Swedes to take 1, but now the chance for the deuce is back on again for Sweden.
Might set up a double back for Team USA, but right now they just want to make the hit. Blank isn't the end of the world for Sweden either.
Now, Sweden's got last rock. We call last rock the hammer in curling. I'm sure there's a good reason why we call it the hammer, but we just do. And when you've got control of last rock, you've got options, including not scoring, because if you don't score, you keep last rock into the following end. Very nice roll there, all the way to the back.
Thick hit and roll of
the
center is
ring.
fine.
Tons of
Think it'll
separation
be
now between
pretty
the
darn
stones.
straight. Easy peel. I think that should
Jamie Sinclair saying easy peel. That's a description of the takeout weight that she's going to throw at this stone. Most teams will have usually 6 or 7 different weights that they will throw on takeout shots, ranging all the way from backline weight all the way through to peel weight.
Intern. Easy peel. Fix the tolerance.
Fix the tolerance. By that she means if I hit that stone a little bit thicker than intended, we just roll in front of that stone in the back. But if you hit it thin, there's a chance to make a double takeout.
Well, Jamie Sinclair, obviously with a couple of steals, the numbers are going to be lower.
Yeah, she's been trying really high degree of difficulty shots like double raises and things like that.
Had the draw that gave it in the third, that gave it the steal at 2.
This one's going to roll across the top again, caught in between the 2 shot choices. Will it stick around for second shot? Yeah.
It rolls away, so it is second shot.
Yeah.
Anna was going to play hers, and it hadn't even. It was looking like it might still be shot stone.
Yeah. So those 2 counters on the ring's kind of in the 14-foot non-existent circle. They're both just biting the ring. Stone has to be touching at least part of the painted circle to be eligible to score a point. And you can see in the back of our picture behind Sarah McManus, both of those stones just biting that blue 12-foot circle. So we'll try to put this stone far, far away from those stones in the back.
So we get a look at the numbers for players. 92% for Anna Hasselborg, 94% on the overall championship numbers.
Really high standard. They just keep rolling along. Don't want us to slide too deep, and that's a very good shot. Sweden lies 2.
Oh, this way, yeah.
Well, U.S. has to play this double. They don't really have much of a choice. 2 really isn't a good option for them to go back down by 4.
I think we try this. Third quarter.
Yeah. They are lining up that double takeout, trying to hit it right about where that brush is. A third or a quarter pick both of the Swedish stones out of the rings.
How much is it?
Can't really go around it. Maybe drawing just to the back of the 8-foot in Hasselborg. We just follow it down, tap it, and score 2 that way.
I don't think there's anything else good. No, I like this. Yeah, we like worth a try.
Yeah, definitely no other good options for Jamie Sinclair.
So without the hammer, trailing 4-2 in the game, trying to make this double takeout. Jamie Sinclair, back-to-back U.S. champion, but in her first trip to the World Championship.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, great shot.
Look at the double made.
Beauty.
Well, we'll avoid giving up the multiple point score. Still a chance to blank the end, but the double made by Jamie Sinclair.
Fantastic shot. Great shot.
Well, that will deuce there. You go down by 4 with 4 ends remaining. Now it keeps it a 2-point game. May change the strategy. May have to go a little more aggressive, try and play for a steal in the 7th end.
Yeah, as we get later in the game, have to take more risks. You never know. It's not unheard of to have these stones beak and get a cheap force that way, but Hasselborg's trying to blank.
Hit, roll out. And that's what Sweden will do, so they will keep the hammer. Second blank end of the game. Sweden will retain the hammer and the 2-point lead. Heading to the 7th end, it's session 6 in the Ford World Women's Curling Championship.
Yeah. 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 My guards better spot. Yeah. Just yeah.
Well, look at just the 2 games out on the ice. Here's session 6. Only time throughout the whole event where in round robin that there'll be just 2 games out on the ice.
Just over.
Both these teams hopefully wanting to be out there again when there's just 2 games out on the ice, meaning the
No doubt.
playoff time.
It's kind of like being in an old 2-sheeter somewhere in the prairies of Canada.
I know.
It's cool.
I know. Me too.
Well, we are in North Bay at the Memorial Gardens as the centerline guard starts things off for Team USA. Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlaben, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Sweden trying to pick up their first world title since 2011. Meanwhile, the U.S. is hoping to reclaim the title. They haven't won since 2003.
Topp 8. Topp 12 nära.
Gå, gå, gå! Gå, 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 gå.
Well, the tick shot won't roll off as much as they would like. But
2 corner guards, though. And that red guard quite far forward. Not too much trouble for Team Sweden. If the Americans get one behind it, they should be able to make a play.
I don't mind a hair more.
Team USA was talking about placement of these stones, where the guards want to be.
1, 2. 2's good. 2.
Well, you've seen what Agnes Knockenhauer can do at second stone for Sweden,
Even with the top
making
one.
double clears, big weight. So you're just trying to get
Keep going. Keep going.
awkward angles and lots of separation between the guard stones, but still trying to keep your stones in that free guard zone area.
That's a pretty good spot because of where that guard is out in front.
Leave your stones in places where your opponent can't remove 2 of them at once.
Gillar du?
Jag gillar... Nej, jag kan gilla vilket som. Jag kan gilla runt utifrån.
I like this.
Bra. Ja, det tycker jag absolut. Eller vad tycker du?
At some point, if you're Sweden, you're saying, you got last rock, you've got them set up, let's go. Let's just get in there. If we get a deuce or a 3 here, can really put the game away.
Bra linje!
So you do play the scoreboard and you do play the percentages, but you have to sense the game as well. You're all throwing in the 90s percentage-wise. You got to back yourself sometimes to just take a small risk, make a shot, put the pressure on, and look at this. Pays off. Look at that. Perfectly behind the guard, sitting right on the tee line. Fractional heavy.
Actually comes out the other side.
Yeah.
Around both those guards for Sofia Mabergs in her 3rd World Championship.
It's a bit too good. Some of the Swedish supporters here at the North Bay Memorial Gardens.
Her parents and timing the stones. See a lot of them sitting in the...
Sending transmissions back to Sweden.
And they've had a busy and probably stressful last couple of months watching their team. As they say, it's almost harder being a spectator or a family or a friend of the team than
Sure
the
can
curlers
be.
themselves.
Absolutely can be.
Line's good, straight. Right to it, Alex, right to it.
Great chance here if Vicky Persinger can drill one right on top of this stone just delivered by Mabergs. Oh, very nice looking shot. Beautiful. Great shot
Yeah,
by
that's-
Vicky Persinger.
That's great as you see the U.S. family and friends, the Stars and Stripes.
So, after one little rush of blood for Team Sweden going on the offense, now it's back to the playbook.
Grip and rip.
Yep, Magnus Knockenhauer, double clear, please. Big weight. Blows it by the stone behind, so still something cooking here for Team USA.
At some point, double peel is going to need to be made by Team Sweden if USA puts these guards back out in front.
And there we see that yellow stone just on the button belonging to Team USA. Great shot by Persinger. Now she's trying to defend the stone that she just threw. Throwing a guard.
Line's good. I think it's all there, guys. Alex. I think it's all there.
We're like 1.5, 2, 1.
No.
Alaskan curlers represent.
For one. Nope.
Yeah, Vicky from Fairbanks, Alaska, and Jamie Sinclair born in Anchorage, Alaska.
Nice guard there by Vicky Persinger.
Good judge. What was that? 45. Come on out, Dora.
Jag tror att det finns lite curl, men det är ingen rakt.
Curlers in Alaska. Quite challenging for them to compete in U.S. Nationals. Obviously, it's a huge trip for them. Lots of expense. But great to see curling thriving in that great northern state of Alaska.
Nära. Nej. Nära. Ja. Ja. Håll.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
That makes this one interesting now
Yeah.
with the missed double peel and actually leaves that one out in front. So 2 misses from Knockenhauer.
yeah, great chance now for Team USA. You could even just drill one right on top of your own stone to maybe lie 2, leaving 2 center guards stacked, just blowing them by the stones in the rings. Knockenhauer disappointed. Perfect setup for Team USA, 2 center guards.
Line's good.
Stay close to the line.
Line's good. 3, 4, 3.
Guards are what you need if you're going to get a steal.
Room. Just top 12.
Little larceny in the hearts of Team USA here in the 7th.
Top 12, guys. Yeah. Make it Line's good. Good. Little deep. It's good. Stop.
Just rest in the 8-foot.
Well, who shot there? Looks like it is that yellow that is just shot stone.
Yeah, definitely. USA is shot.
Curls there. Nice weight. Especially if you don't touch it. Like,
We're happy to put that one in the 12-foot. You know, that had a great line. If you sweep that stone back, just tap yellow, tap red, just a fraction, USA could have been line 2. But because you know Sweden's going to be clearing the guards all day. And there's a double clear from Sarah McManus, but one guard still remains just to the top of our picture. Yellowstone belonging to the Americans is shot rock right now.
vet inte vad...
Det är bra. Okay.
The U.S. could maintain and
I guess a little excited.
steal a point here. Brand new game, really.
Yeah, and after that sixth end was blanked, a great double by Jamie Sinclair. Keeping them in this game, a deuce would have put them back but down by 4.
2's good. 2.5.
Line's good.
Get another guard, maybe even make a play late in the end to like 3.
Line's good.
Yeah, all kinds of danger for Sweden if there is a chance to make a play on those stones in the rings. I agree, Luke.
Split center. Mon. Easy. Easy. It's gonna be over curling.
That red Swedish stone at the bottom of our picture. It's pretty lonely right now.
And on the back end of that train,
Yeah.
the decision to come in and going a little bit deep opened up a bit of the doors. Here's a discussion for Sweden.
Nej, runda aldrig. Jag funderar på om man bara skulle... Du har ju halva, va?
Ja, jag har mer än halva.
Jag bara funderar på...
Yeah, I like the call to come in, but that was the risk. A little bit light and then, or a little bit heavy rather, and you give the Americans a chance to freeze. And
Ja, men det...
this
det
whole
vill vi just nu. Vi
situation
kan inte
started with
forsa
that
någonting.
excellent shot by Vicky Persinger.
Alltså för att vi säger att vi sätter den där dubben, då gaddar de bara. Vad finns det ens då?
Nej, jag kan gilla det. Jag gillar det också.
Så.
Ja, jag tror det.
Ja, lika fart.
11?
11-3.
Ja,
Gillar du det?
vi vill inte ha för djupt tryck bara.
Nej.
Jo, vi vill inte falla upp för mycket heller så vi trycker ner.
Nej. Tänker bara de har poppat så mycket.
Lots of rocks in play. Only one Swedish stone in the rings. Look at all those yellow stones belonging to the Americans.
Har man råd med lite mer?
So a bit of risk here, but a risk you have to take if you're Anna Hasselborg. You have to make a play on this stone in the 8-foot. If it overcurls slightly, you could wind up running it on your own. They're going to have to work to get this one by the guard. Oh, just by the guard, but it's going to overcurl. And it does jam, and the U.S. is lying 2. Hello.
I thought they might throw more weight at that to try and get everything moved out of the 4-foot there.
Just squeaking by the guard.
Great brush, but
quiet weight. And that was
ends up
always the
killing their own. Leaves theirs in a good position that the U.S. has to deal with, but that's about it.
It does. And so I think that's why they played the quiet weight, Luke, just to keep that stone in control in that front of the 8-foot. But you're exactly right. You've left the Americans lying 2 now. Now for Sweden, it's like, or for USA, it's how do we guard or how do we neutralize that stone in the 8-foot?
I could play the intern and go to here. Horse, that's not bad. There, they've got that, and you've got it back. I mean, even a little bump's not bad.
I mean, if we straight guard, what do you think they're throwing? I think they're running the guard into everything.
This is all she has, really.
Like maybe
She has the intern tap as well.
But then that she needs 2 shots
Yeah.
for that, right? And then we can guard this side. I think that's true.
Just straight guard. How do you get there?
Here's getting you center line. It's too bad we can't come this way.
I think we need tons of yours was edge.
For that center guard. We can always
Yeah, I didn't like that other talk of the other side of the sheet and drawing in. I don't think it added anything. You're sitting good. That Redstone is a danger one for them right now. And that's the shot that Sweden has.
Yeah.
Good point. It's going to take 2 shots on that intern side to move them. They play it once, then we cap it off, and they don't have it on the second shot.
Just a 2.
There's 2 yellow stones perfectly buried on the intern side, so Anna Hasselborg can't really throw weight at it on the intern.
4 inches more ice than
So it will be the guard.
anything we've given.
Yeah, still though.
Should be the same.
Like a 35 for like LS.
Blocking the path to that red stone of the Swedes in the top of the 8-foot circle, so they can't promote it.
Should be all room. 2.5. Line's good. 3. 2. Just 2. It's a bit farther out, guys. Here.
Wideish line, they like the weight, but the stone has to curl a lot.
Hard, Vic.
Hard, Vic. Yep, all the hard.
Have to really keep the stone moving to get maximum curl. Now it's making a move.
I think it caught that path, and That spot, that breaking point where it takes the curl, it takes away that red.
Nice
Raise.
shot. Very nice shot. So perhaps for the first time in the game, some real strife here for Sweden.
Vi bara lurar på om vi liksom, den är så hög, om vi har en chatt där nere.
Det var den.
All started with the first 3 rocks of this end.
Ja. Det är den vi väljer mellan just nu.
Sophie
Vad känner du
Marburg's
för?
come around just slightly past the tee line. An excellent freeze by Vicky Persinger, and then it's been all on since then.
Kan vi spela en 11 här?
Nej.
Men vill de spela
Bakåt.
lösare. Se till att trycka ut en ur frifoten, vore nice.
Ja, alltså med tanke på hur lite Saras tryckte så tror jag att vi liksom, det är ju bara bak 4 vi kan spela.
Don't need to panic here if you're Sweden, though. You look at the scoreboard. We're still up 2.
Ja, och då kan man också våga spela skjut på den här sen också.
Alltså, vi kan ju få rörelse med den här. Det kan vi ju
Psychologically now, you switch into damage control mode, and you're thinking, all right, we'll give him 1. Just don't want to give him 2.
Du har den här, Anna.
Tyckte du satte din bra, Sara? Ja.
So if I'm Anna Hasselborg, I'm thinking, how can I play this so that the worst that's going to happen to us is we drop 1? And looking at that double raise.
Well, can you get fortunate playing this and go in between those 2 yellows as well? Maybe even clear everything?
Well, you could clear everything, but there's also a small risk that something really bad could happen. You could go yellow, red, red, and leave your opponent lying 3.
Well, Anna Hasselborg, her first of skip stones. And spin right through. There's the triple peel.
A very nice shot by Hasselborg.
That
Clears
gives them
everything.
lots of options now, because now the U.S. can't guard everything. They have to
Härligt, Anna. Grymt det där.
guard the double.
And that was the situation where if she makes this shot, makes it very difficult for the Americans to steal more than 1. Very nice shot. Sometimes you have to do that as a skip. Your teammates have a rough end and don't execute well, and you have to tidy up afterwards, and that's exactly what Anna Hasselborg did. Agnes Knockenhauer uncharacteristically missing some double clears, and Anna Hasselborg moving 3 with 1. Very nice shot. Not out of the woods yet, though. USA is still lying 2.
Tight. Just come close to the
Well, at this point, does the U.S. have to take the chance? Down by 2 without the hammer?
How's the speed?
I don't think you have to go crazy here. If the USA, you're thinking, we steal a single point here, we're in great shape. So I've been trying to do everything I can to leave the situation for Hasselborg, where best she can do is give up a steal of 1, but you definitely want to steal here, absolutely.
Might be to it.
Mine's nice.
Never. Nope. Well then. Trying to come down. 4. Line's
The best
good.
path to the steal for the Americans
Line's
is
good.
put it on the center line, show the outside corner of the stone at the top of the 4-foot, but take away that promotion shot from Hasselborg of the stone in the 8-foot. Not bad. Would have liked to see that curl a fraction more to take away that red raise a little bit, but not a bad shot. Thing about this raise for Hasselborg, the angles are awkward. You can play it onto that front stone of the 2, and you can start thinking about thin double and somehow raise thin double for 2, but you hit a quarter of that top rock and the Americans are stealing 1. Great look at it here on her overhead. Gonna hit that red stone. Either driving it almost straight back onto the stone on the button, or ideally a little bit fractionally right about where that brush is. Just clip the stone at the top of the 4-foot, pick off the stone behind it. That's why I was thinking Jamie Sinclair probably wanted to cover a little bit of this red shot to make it a little bit tougher. Show them a little bit more of that stone in the front of the 4-foot.
Well, she made a great triple peel on her first. Now Anna Hasselborg trying to play the raise double here at their last stone of the 7th end.
Yep. Whoa.
It's close.
Well, come up, make the double, and but will stick it and get one out of it. Great shot by the Olympic champion. Trying to add a world title to that crown as Anna Hasselborg gets the 1 and leads 5-2 after 7.
Bra spelarna. Du får...
Well, it is a 5-2 game now. You're watching live coverage. Sweden taking on the USA Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. We are in session 6. Morning draw here on Monday morning from North Bay, Canada. Luke Ole, Hans Frauenlob. Sweden got the go-ahead from the official. Little break they have between ends.
Monday morning, start the working week. Sweden going to work.
Gå ganska rakt. Bra. Bra. Kommer in där. Nu går det mycket. Nedsotsarna. Inte vara där.
Bra fart.
Well, they'll have to go to work and put together a better end than they did. They got very fortunate to have a score in that last end. Was looking threatening.
Yeah, it was a great chance to steal for the Americans. Nice final shot by Hasselborg to salvage the 1, but they were chasing the whole end.
Well, at this end, we'll get a chance to look at the difference numbers. Obviously, numbers go down a little bit for Sophia there after the last end, but good numbers for both leads.
Yeah, Monica Walker, Sophia Mavericks playing very well. But the game situation for the Americans here, even though you're trailing by 3, you've got last rock in the even ends now. So you score 2, force 1, score 2, you get to an extra end. That'll be what Jamie Sinclair's thinking here.
Pretty good spot.
Good judge.
So first stone in, corner guard. Decisions how Team USA is going to try and go after their 2. Do they draw him behind the corner guard after this one? Do you move the stones around? Do you put a second corner?
Yeah, you'll be thinking, you certainly want to be using that corner guard you just set. Absolutely right, Luke. A lot depends on you reacting to what your opponent's doing as well. Sweden electing to throw a second stone into the ring, so that dictates a little bit about what your options are. Now you can also think about later in the end tapping those 2 red stones behind the tee line and maybe throwing stones in front of them for jams. If you set a guard, it's usually with the intention of using it.
Line's good.
Let it work, let it work, let it work.
6, 7. Gotta work. Line's good.
You do know if you go around the corner guard now that the response shot from Sweden is going to be to try and clear that corner guard. So the big choice for Jamie Sinclair will be, what do you do on the next shot?
Keep going, keep going. Good.
Nice shot there.
Yeah, well played, right in behind. Good pair. Rebecca Walker continuing the strong play by both leads in this game.
Ja, båda.
Yep, they've played very
Marginal
well.
en bara.
Vilka center?
Perfectly guarded. Agnes Knockenhauer looking to redeem a little bit of venom in that throw. She's pretty angry about not making double clears in the previous end.
So I'll just make the run back
Yeah,
here,
just
but
make
it
the run
sticks
back, yeah.
on the one on the button.
Yeah, that wasn't really what was in the playbook.
Look at the second and a wash between those. Knockenhauer hasn't thrown a draw yet in this game. With the score the way it is, I don't know if she will.
Yeah, maybe not. Might throw 20 stones in a 10-end match and not throw a single draw. Not so for Vicky Persinger. So on the previous end, she made a fantastic freeze. Really set the Americans up for a possible steal, and it was only an excellent last shot by Hasselborg that salvaged a single for the Swedes.
Gotta go, yep. Hard all the way. Hard, go, 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 go. Hard finish, go.
To tuck behind this guard,
Hard, go, 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 go. Keep it moving, go.
trying to keep it moving for maximum curl. Maybe a third or a quarter of it hidden behind that corner guard. Hasselborg sizing up the angle. She says, maybe we can get them both.
Ja. 11.
It won't be full takeout weight. It's just going to be hit and roll control takeout weight for Agnes Knockenhauer. You hit the stone just delivered by Persinger. Roll over into the center.
Rent. 11. Bara rent. Ja. 11. Framåt lite mer. Wow. Nära. Nära. Ja.
Pretty close.
Ja. Hårt. 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 Go, 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 go.
A little sweeping error there. I think they just,
Could have stayed on it a little more.
yeah, they just misread that a little bit. A little bit thinner. They would have had more roll. Not bad.
Is there a double there? Like, so if we draw back wing.
Yeah, you can double.
A few options here for the Americans.
I want to tap him. I just don't want to leave an easy double.
You could. You can also elect just to throw another one around the corner guard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there as well. Tap's a nice call, but it does set up a double for Sweden.
Just how I want to move these back. I just don't want to leave an easy double.
You ever just like, I don't know, like, if you're not overlapping, then those are gone.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why it's
really
tough.
thin.
I was thinking that
I
too.
was thinking straight back here,
We could
then double these later.
nose this. They'll throw the double. We come around. Or come around.
Well, as they discussed, we'll jump over Italy, Russia. 5-4. Italy got that big score of 4.
Like real thin.
But if this is
But
where we,
last two ends blanked. Russia now looking to use that hammer to their advantage and
yeah, I get it.
score that
We could
second
throw that
point.
with board.
Looks like they're lying one just now, Luke. That's right.
I think
Need the 4-foot for
Well, you're hitting
Moiseva.
it thin and you want to move this.
This would put Russia back in front if Moiseva can draw another one into that 4-foot.
Well, had a struggle when they gave up their 4, and here,
This one looks
nothing
hot.
from the sweepers. They gotta be careful they don't chip their own.
How about that?
Bit of backing here, so it might be okay.
Well, it curls past it, but it'll go right past everything, and wow. It
Single
is
point.
just a single point for Russia. And a 5-5 game after 8. 2 ends remaining over there.
Well, this Italian team, they're just hanging around. We saw them make a huge comeback win, stealing victory against Scotland yesterday, and they're hanging tough against Team Russia, who are unbeaten.
12. 12, half.
Easy.
Half. Yes.
You have 4 teams right now unbeaten. Korea and Canada 3-0. They're off this session. The other 2 are in play. Sweden leading in our feature game here.
Yep. Good.
That's good.
Well, after the discussion, Team USA electing to play a stone, really just a little split on their own stone just to get some separation.
Curled way more.
I'm not sure I love that call, but for the Americans, it's really just about rock accumulation, just trying to keep a 3 in play.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with the decision there. It leaves these short run backs, and Sweden very good at hitting. Thought you might try and use your that corner guard.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sarah McManus, short raise.
Goes across the top of the American stone at the back of the 8'4" third shot. So still a chance for the deuce here for the Americans.
That same kind of weight.
So we look at the numbers. Sarah McManus still 98%.
Yeah,
88 for Alex Carlson. Still good numbers.
yeah, very good numbers. Alexis had a good game.
Okay.
Important shot here. Trying to set up a pair. The Americans really must score 2 here to have a realistic chance of winning this game.
Forward. Easy. Easy. Easy.
Touch
Easy.
more.
Easy.
Touch more.
Whoa. 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 Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yeah. Hold on. Yep.
Trying to control the roll.
Yep.
Needed to keep it in play, keep it in that 8-foot circle.
Yep. Good. Okay.
It's not bad.
Nice shot.
Well, got a little spin back to boots.
So they do lie 1-2.
Yeah, that was just that little spin there at the very death of that stone. It was going to go into the 12-foot, and it spun back full 8-foot, so the Americans are lying 2. Nice shot. This one has to curl a bit. Sweepers aren't laying a brush to it. She's going to blow it by. Yes, she
Gonna go right
is.
through the hole, so it's still USA lying 2. Thrown that on both of them. They both undercurled. A lot of rotation on those deliveries for Sweden. Got in a bit of a straight spot.
It's not unusual on arena ice where you step the weight up a little bit, it'll track straight.
I think it's close. Line's good. That's pretty good. Got room still. We got room. Room. Lot of room. 9.
10.
Lot of room. 9.
It's coming down.
Lot of room, man. Only if it needs weight. No bounce. No bounce on this line. Man.
It's not just as heavy as they think. They want to sweep it all the way back to that red. They don't want to bounce on Jamie Sinclair, but they want to weld it. Yeah, sweeping error. That needed to be up cozy to that red stone. Needed to be welded onto it. Had to wait a bit for the line.
What'd you get for a long on that?
By leaving that gap, you can see what Anna Hasselborg's lining up. If it would have been frozen to that red stone, this shot wouldn't be there. Or it would certainly be a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Still a good chance here for the Americans to score 2, though, even if Hasselborg doubles these off. USA just draws right down into that area again, and they still have a chance for their pair.
Well, the U.S. has kept stones around, trying to generate their offense. They've done a good job in that.
Yep, they have.
See if they can finish it off. Hasselborg will try and eliminate 2.
Nice shot.
And makes 2 go away just like that. So make that shot look very easy. That's not an easy shot. That was a thin double takeout.
Yeah.
What do you think? That's 4 feet?
Very nicely played. We'll take a look here on the replay. Had to hit a quarter of it to make the double. Perfect.
So those out-turn draws you through this way, same speed as that.
Okay.
For Jamie Sinclair, she just wants to sit that stone right in front of those red stones on the right hand of our picture.
Same ice as Alex's.
I think it's a situation, Luke, where you don't mind coming down just if you can get a perfect freeze. There we see comparisons between Hasselborg and Sinclair. Hasselborg with the edge in the shooting percentage, but if Jamie can weld this one on the stones in the back 8-foot, that brings 3 into play.
All there.
The Americans could Score 2 or 3 in this end, they're right back in the game.
We're 7.
7-8, guys. 7-8. Line's good. Got some room. Bit of room.
7-8 being T-line back 4.
Line's good. Bit of room.
Stick with it, sweepers. Just not curling quite enough for a perfect freeze. It's going to corner freeze.
Good, guys. Nice job.
Not a bad stone. Would have lugged it full on the face of that red rock, but just didn't curl enough for Jamie Sinclair. The deuce is still very much on for the Americans, though. But by being corner frozen instead of full frozen, chance for a 3 is unlikely now for the Americans. But they be pretty happy with a pair.
Well, we've seen the way that Anna throws. She'll try and just blast it right out of there.
Yeah, giving up 2 for the Swedes is not something they wanted in this end, but from their perspective, it's on the acceptable side of the result ledger. Just didn't want to give up 3. It's an open hit for 2 now for Team USA.
Yeah, did it what Sweden needed to do on that shot. Some mistakes early and missed by Sarah McManus through the hole. Allowed the deuce to be in full effect.
It'll move a little bit. Gradual. Yep. We'll stay close. Yep.
Has to stick in that white 8-foot circle to count 2. Big shot here for Jamie Sinclair. Worked really, really hard the whole end to manufacture a pair. Here's the chance to cash it out.
No doubt has thrown this time and time again in games, in practice, and now to finish off, score a deuce, make it a 5-4 game.
Willing it to curl, will it
There's the
stick
hit,
around?
and it uses all the room it had to work with to score a pair. And the U.S. gets their second deuce of the game. 2 ends remaining. Sweden still leads, but only by a single now.
No, I mean, what was the time?
Sure if you can see it, just curious what their time clocks are at. We can't see it from where we're sitting. Just wondering what if any cameras can. Thanks. Well, there's the line score, 5-4, Sweden advantage, and they have to have last stone here, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship, as we play the 9th end Well played end by Team USA. Now they'll have to try and set up the guards here. Play for the force. They'll have to go all out for a steal. Steal would be nice, but they're going to have to steal at some point, I think, to win this game.
It's almost imperceptible, Luke, but you can just sense the momentum shifting a little bit here. The Americans with a nice deuce there in the 8th and nearly stealing the 7th. And after really dominating the early part of this game, all of a sudden Sweden looking a little less assured, a little less confident. They're still in control of this game, but the Americans have fought their way back in.
So the tight center line guard now, Sophia Maberg, looking to chip that one in, roll both of them into the house. And very nice, chips them both in, rolls theirs in for shot stone.
Yeah, very nice shot by Mabergs.
Look at the clocks, and 7 minutes for Sweden, 6.5 for Team USA. Play 2 ends. We'll have to move quickly. USA does have their timeout left, but there have been lots of discussions in this game throughout.
And usually as you get to the 9th and the 10th end, especially if the scores are close as they are in this one, you do want to have a little bit of time to consider your options in the crucial final moments of the game.
Again, that is thinking time. It's not whether the stone is running down the ice. It does stop at that point, so not a deterrent whether you're playing the draw or a hit.
That's right.
Karunda också, vad gillar ni?
Jag gillar så mycket.
10.
So now that one is in the rings. It can be removed here. You want to stick around, Hans?
Well, it's not necessary. If you're going to stick around, you want to be a bit behind cover. For Sweden, in rocks in play, really you just want to be thinking about scoring in this end. The only bad result for you is giving up a steal, and if you got lots of rocks in play, you just increase the chances that your opponent can use them against you and generate a steal. They do stick around, but from Jamie Sinclair's perspective, you don't mind rocks in play. You know, if they score 2 against you or 2 or more, it's pretty bad, but if you got rocks in play, it increases the chances of you forcing them to take one or stealing. If there are fewer rocks in play, you just increase the chance that your opponent's got an easy shot for a blank or to score a single point if they want. So I think for the Americans, they don't mind rocks in play. They set a center guard, now they're going around it. For Sinclair, it's thinking about force or steal.
Sweden didn't waste any time knowing, let's get rid of the guard, let's bring play into the house. The US has that one in a potential steal position.
Normal programming resumed here for Agnes Knockenhauer after a couple of nose hits and attempted double clears. Perfect clear there.
Well, USA obviously trying to fight their way back, and this one got down 4-0 early. Either way, try and use this momentum. They'll play in the next session as well, so back-to-back games.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how calmly they've approached this game after, as you said, dropping behind 4-0. And they've just gone about their business. Haven't panicked. There hasn't been any desperation creeping into the voices. They're just doing what they can do. And here they are. They're still in with a very good chance in this match.
Well, you said it early. They were trying to play this as a 10-end game, not try to win it in one end. Just Play the grind.
Just try to get yourself to the finish line. Give yourself a chance in the 10th end.
Well, they blasted off their own. Leave that guard, so
Yep, no problem. Something for the Americans to use.
interesting they were trying to go after that one on the button. I thought they'd just peel it. It looked real tight to have to get by that stone.
Definitely. One thing this Swedish foursome is not short on, and that's confidence in their execution ability. If they can see a sliver of a rock and they want to have a throw at it, they're doing it because they think they can make it.
Curl. Got a curl. Lots of room, guys. Got a curl. Yep.
Both sweepers on the high side of the rock trying to promote as much curl as they can. Those guards are nicely lined up on the center line. Just tight roping right down that center line.
Well, Sarah McManus to make this peel, get both of them.
Just one.
Yeah, just get the single, leaves USA still lying one, top of the button.
Bara så här bryta över.
Should say biting top of the button.
Yeah, the dynamics change entirely if the Americans can steal a point this end. Now you're playing the extra or the 10th end tied. And now psychologically, if you're Team USA, you're thinking if we can get to the 10th end, put the heat on, get it set up well.
Even closer. No.
Changes everything psychologically for Sweden, because another stolen point, you lose the game. You're not going to an extra end anymore.
Wow. Foot in front. Foot in front. Yeah.
Just let it die. Let it.
A little deeper than they would have liked. Makes the double clear a little bit easier for Sweden. Maybe even run the redstone into the American shot. Great look at it there. Hit 3/4 of the yellow one on the outside, yellow onto red into yellow, and Sweden would be lying 2.
And the center line would be open.
And the center line would be open.
That's probably the bigger factor for them that Sweden would love to have. They've been in chase mode this second half of the game, really.
Trying to hold the line. Oh, there it is. McManus.
Nicely done. And Rolls guarding their own. But
bonus.
like I said, opening up the center line was the goal. US knew they didn't like it with that guard coming in too tight.
Goal converted for Sarah McManus. Just hitting it a little bit on the high side. Driving the guard straight back, but as Luke said, also opening up that 4-foot area. No more guards in the center. Very nice shot by Sarah McManus. You see the consequence of that guard being a little deeper. Just made that shot a little bit easier for McManus. So now America, you're stopping thinking about steal, and now you're thinking about force. Force them to take 1 point. You can force them to take 1. You're playing the 10th end, 2 down, but with hammer. Score 2 in the 10th, you go to an extra end.
A lot of room still. 10. Around it. We got to go around it.
We're already there for weight.
Trying to corner freeze, but they're saying it's no line that's going to go around it. It's actually going to slide to the back of the 12-foot for second shot. That's an error.
Yeah, and heard actually as Jamie was sliding, there was a comment, you need to add, and she added a little bit with the extension and adding to the back of the 12-foot.
Sometimes you get a bit too much input during the delivery.
You don't see it a lot from players, but when you played, did you ever have that where you're giving input on a delivery with it?
Well, the way I slide, sometimes you get lots of input, like stay upright.
Stay on your feet.
But yeah, it's unusual to try to guide the thrower while they're actually throwing. Usually as the sweeper, you're just trying to respond immediately out of hand.
Så mycket fart.
Ja, den är stark.
So splitting the house to lie 2.
Våga eka ni.
Ja, den är jättelång. Håll tillbaka.
And nothing from this Sweden front end, and different path, hasn't been thrown a lot. This one
Backing right off. This one's going to slide right through. Hello, hello. Sinclair heavy, Hasselborg heavy. Now a second chance for Jamie Sinclair.
You don't always get this opportunity, but a second crack at it for Jamie Sinclair.
She can corner freeze that stone, the red stone on the right-hand side of our, left-hand side of our picture, rather. Force Anna Hasselborg to draw for a single point. If you could ever curl enough to nudge that red stone back into second or into third shot position, then you make it really interesting. But she won't be thinking that. She'll just be thinking straight out corner freeze.
Line's a little tighter. Line's good. Still good. Easy. Where? Line's good. Line's good.
Distance is in the hands of the sweepers.
Easy. Oh, 6 is too far. Easy.
We're there, we're there.
It's fine. Around.
Once again, they're saying around, so it's no corner freeze. They're going to go around that red stone, right in between. They just didn't commit to the decision. Could have tucked it around it, but they just let it come to rest, hoping it would come to rest in front of that red stone. And now could be game over. Chance for 2 now for Sweden all of a sudden. But it looks like just a draw for the 1 by the looks of the brush position.
Gillar ni hårdragning där?
Typ samma fart, eller?
Yeah.
Och lite lösare.
Be a bit surprised if they don't make the play for the pair now.
It's what weight do you throw to?
You only have
to
to
try
push
and
that.
stop that
You only have to push it a foot. So you just be thinking back 4 foot, back 8 foot weight maximum.
Gillar ni den här isen?
What you don't want to do is mentally think, all right, I can throw back line, blow it by, and give the Americans a cheap steal. You can see her narrowing up the ice.
Yeah, it looked like there was enough you could throw in just a hack weight or even board weight hit
I think
on
so.
it.
I think so. I mean, that's at least half available for Hasselborg, and maybe even 2/3.
Jag gillar det.
0-10.
And if it does happen to overcurl, the only bad thing is hitting that red guard. But if overcurls hit your own stone, you still roll in.
Get your 1.
Get your 1.
Chance at a deuce here. Take a 3-point lead to the 10th end. It's the longest game they've had yet. Their first 3, they finished in 7.
Really not laying a brush to it yet, Luke. This stone has to curl. Will it curl enough?
Well, trying to come, chips it, rolls away.
Oh, so close to a steal, but it's a single point for Sweden. Wow.
It's been a bit of a struggle for Sweden here in this second half, but they will have a 2-point lead coming home to the 10th end.
Poäng här är bra. Ja, fan.
Få precis ett läge som vi har. Sorry. Vad hade ni på den?
77.
Bra fart. Bra linje.
Well, here we go, folks. 10th end.
Kommer in där.
Sweden up 2, but the U.S. has the hammer.
Fin fart. Ligger
They
där.
could score a pair. We're going to an extra.
14-9.
So close to disaster for Anna Hasselborg there in the 9th loop.
They barely got enough of that one. I thought they might try and put a few licks on it with the broom to try and get the extra finish. Late sweep with the curl.
No, Alex. Alex. Yeah. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Well, important stones here, and
Gotta
Yeah.
go. Farzil, go.
Need a good corner guard to set things up for a pair. You know that Sweden's going to be clearing guards the second they have the chance to do it. Just across that hog line. It's in play. That's a really long guard.
yeah, that'll be tough to really use.
Yeah, you'd have to go to the extreme side of the sheet to use that.
Bra linje. Bra fart. Gå lite rakare. Bra linje. Gå lite rakare.
Sweden trying to stay unbeaten while the U.S. is a game behind them. 2-1 record. I know it is just session 6, day 3, but any opportunity you can have for Sweden to go 2 games up on a team, for the U.S. to try and even the record,
Bra Luka.
Yeah,
it's nice.
big game for both teams. No question about that.
Stone placement not the greatest there for Sofia Malberg, bringing that one in and staggering them. The stagger in the house actually will act as a bit of a guard. May see Team USA now come around those later in the end.
That's right. For the Americans, as a situation, you'll use everything you can.
2.5.
So even though this corner guard
Line's good, guys. Lots of room. Line's really good.
was wide and not awesome, now you're going to basically throw a come around the guard, even though it's a guard. So half around the guard to guard your own guard. Not
even
bad.
Sure, I'm not even sure what you just said.
Well,
The
see,
guard
they're
around your own
stacked up.
guard.
You know, you usually stack guards on the center line. These guards are stacked on the corner. That means that Hasselborg can only remove one of them. You're still going to have one guard at the end of the exercise. Whoa, just by. Nice shot.
So Peel's the tight one. It is Sweden lying 2. Vicky Persinger trying to replace that guard.
At some point, the Americans will have to deal with the
It's running really nice. Take a look.
Swedish stones just on top of the forefoot. Let's take a look at this final stone. Italy, Russia, 5-5.
Yeah, Italy
Diana
trying to
Gaspari.
give Russia their first loss.
Yeah.
Pick this one out. She can probably see half, maybe 3/4 of that one.
Yeah, there is a saver for the Italians in the back of the 8-foot, so it is just a shot just to try and pick this Russian stone out.
Well, get rid of the yellow stone and can hand Russia their first loss.
Trying to get some contact. Have they got anything? Yes!
They will
yes!
just catch enough.
Yes!
So, Italy, that score of 4 in the 5th end. And then
Giant
they score
killers.
1 in the 10th to win 6-5 against Russia. Well, in our game, it was actually the Peel touches one of those stones in the top.
That actually helps Team USA.
It gets rid of the stagger, but it's now behind the guard. They can have a freeze position.
Yeah, you can draw to that stone in the back of the rings. You can draw around the corner guard, set your own stone in front of that stone in the back of the 8-foot. Oh, what a great win for Team Italy.
They now sit a 2-2 record.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're in the frame. 6 teams make the playoffs. 12-game round robin. 2-2.
Italy will be back on the ice tonight in session 8 against the Czech Republic.
That'll be an important game for them.
That was Russia will also be back on. They'll play China this evening.
You see, and again, drawing around the guard with the guard. This is forcing Hasselborg to play the higher of the two corner guards. The Americans get a chance to use the deeper of the two corner guards to draw around. So it's a game of cat and mouse.
It is still Sweden line 2. US at some point will need to make their play.
Well, that guard now, the American guard, closer to the rings, easier to hide behind from the American perspective. More useful. Warm applause from this crowd at the North Bay Memorial Gardens for the teams in that Italy-Russia game as they leave the ice, but our focus here, Sweden-USA.
Well, 4 shots remaining. You need 2 to tie if you're Team USA.
Trying to tuck a little corner behind that corner guard.
Well, good effort to get that one.
Yeah, nice sweep.
Sorry, I'm just like, no, it's okay.
Big shot here from McManus.
Well, trying to get by. Ken just gets by the front, picks that one out.
Wow. What precision. Yeah, now's the time I think you do play the freeze on the stone in the back 8 foot instead of trying to go around the corner guard. You're always counting rocks. You need 2, 3 to come, so you want to get this one into second shot position if you can.
Wait if you can. Pretty good. Gotta go. Good. Gotta go. Yeah. On. On. Wait close to 8. Yeah.
Challenge with the freeze. You need perfect line and perfect weight. This one is going to fractionally over curl.
Yep. All the way. Yep.
Now maybe you can get a little chip roll off to the corner.
Good. Good.
So
It's buried, but it is
buried.
third shot, and there's a short little slash to get rid of it. Could draw it down to it.
it's in kind of an awkward place. Hasselborg taking a quick peek at the time clock. Sweden have already used their timeout. Thing is, if you play the red one in the back of the 8 foot, you ever hit a little bit thick, you blow it by the back one. Give the Americans a double takeout, score 2 that way.
Det känns dumt att tänk om man klipper sin egen dag.
Jag gillar att lägga här.
Vill vi ligga 3? Ja, vi måste ligga 3.
Absolut.
Jag känner också någonting mer här. Vad gör hon då?
Hon gillar inte om vi växlar. Tänk om hon fryser där igen då.
Vad sa du?
Scott Baird, Derek Brown looking on from Team USA's perspective. They can't interact with the players. They're just discussing what they might say if they call them onto the ice for a timeout.
Men Sofia säger då fryser hon.
Third shot's a pretty good option. Sometimes the best guard is third shot.
Så får hon den här skjutningen.
Skulle jag missa den då?
Du kan ju även...
Då kan vi ändå inte tappa 3.
Sweden can afford to give up 1. That's not a problem.
Jag gillar det.
Can't afford to give up 2.
Vill du gå samman, Sofia?
Samma som mig.
Se till att lägga 3, va?
They figure the best way, because of where that one went, is they still have to move their 2 stones in order to bring that one into play.
Exactly.
Put one top of the 12 foot.
Alltså det var till och med 15-0.
Not too much room for error here, though, for Anna Hasselborg. We saw her throw a draw through the rings in the 9th then.
Så var lite försiktigare.
Throw this one 6 feet light. That's a problem. Throw this one 6 feet heavy. That's a problem. Needs to be full 12 foot in front of the stone in the 4 foot.
Well, good numbers, though, for the Swedish skip.
Bra linje! Bra linje! Lite där! Måste gå! Gå! Bra linje!
12.
Håll igång!
Snabbt. Gard nästa. 12.
Marburgs and Nakenhauer have gone coast to coast on this one, sweeping at full distance, maximum. Needing to get third shot, and they just get it there. Great sweeping.
Does over curl on them, opening up that one in the top of the 4 foot.
timeout being called by the Americans. I think if I'm Team USA, I'm thinking double takeout now. Run the pair.
You could. I don't know if you can get there. It's too tight. It's pretty
Right
tight.
straight back.
Could always
Sit.
freeze it, then they guard.
Second and third shot.
How do we get to this? Yeah. And then we
Force
drop
Anna
that.
Hasselborg to make a play in the rings. Maybe a double takeout to win the game.
Because this, they're going to be able to pick out because it's never going to come.
Yeah. And then I can't get rid of those two. Don't hate the freeze.
Come back here.
That's
No.
just an easy straight run for them, though.
Not
It's,
easy.
no, they're overlapping. If we
Like
get it
this
just,
way,
I mean,
yeah.
they're going to have
Yeah.
one or the other, but
By hitting
I mean,
the
ideally we
stone
could
in the
have,
front
like,
12 foot, Hasselborg hits it
here.
in return.
Yeah, because then
That American stone at the back of the 12 foot comes into play.
There's the freeze top four, the wide come around, the nose double.
Yeah, they got 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to eliminate 2 of them, pretty much, don't we?
The nose double's there.
We have a shot at.
The nose double
The
wouldn't
nose double,
be
they
bad.
draw around.
They are now discussing the nose double
Still might
takeout.
leave you a double though.
Yeah.
If she's half open,
Yeah.
she leaves you a double.
and
But
they can't hit us.
I mean, I don't love
if
it.
you play the inside one and roll over on top of theirs,
I think they can hit it.
then she's gonna slash it. Right, probably.
I think it's the freeze or the nose double.
Yeah.
Which one do you like? If she freezes, she might guard
Yeah, but then hopefully I have an angle run in for 2.
for 2. True. I don't know.
What do you like?
I kind of like the nose double, but I
Me
mean,
too.
if you like the freeze
No,
better,
I like it.
okay.
I was thinking the double. You make the double. It's at the top of the rings.
Yep.
Probably a tiny bit high.
This is the shot.
Hit back by Sweden then is going to be third shot.
Exactly.
And
Easy shot.
depending on what happens, you may even have a shot at 3.
You might.
Depending on what Sweden then decides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got her.
I think you have to play this, hit it right on the nose. You
Yep.
sit, then you'll sit
Second and third. Yep.
and then the decision is for Sweden. How do you go about it?
Exactly right.
You saw that one; they had to sweep it to just get it to the top of the rings. Missed a shot, both their shots in the 9th end. Put the pressure on her.
Absolutely.
Should be pretty straight.
Trying to hit this one right on the nose. Straight back, pick off the stone at the front of the 4 foot. Also doesn't want to disturb those 2 stones at the back of the house.
No, has to be aware of that. Still make the double first, and then stick the shooter here for Jamie Sinclair. Oh, make the double.
Oh, that
but-
was not, which did not want to happen.
That's an unfortunate, little unlucky there to clip that back one.
Yeah, needed to hit that one a fraction higher, and that was made. Just over curled a tiny bit.
Now you peel this one out, and it is
Pretty much lights out, unfortunately, for the Americans.
all done unless they can find a way to split there, get that top one in there, and then also remove the other ones. So
Helicopter the shooter in somehow.
that magic stone.
Yeah. Oh, so close for the Americans. That was the right call. Making that double straight back was the play. Just fractionally over curled.
Well, this now for Anna Hasselborg to pick up the win.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Looks pretty good.
Well, and just a clean, so that'll do it. The victory for Sweden.
Anna Hasselborg, she had to fight for it this morning. Confirmation of our final score. Sweden 6 and the United States 4. here for Anna Hasselborg, chasing the entire end. Trying a raised double here. Jams it straight back on the shooter, just scores one. Eighth end. Final stone for the USA's Jamie Sinclair. It's an open hit. Has to stick around to score two. Just hangs around, biting the 8-foot. It's a 2-point end for the Americans. They're right back in this game. Ninth end, last stone for Anna Hasselborg. Chance to score two here. Will it curl enough? Just moves the American stone just far enough to score a single point. And it's a crucial point for Sweden. In the 10th end, Sweden running the USA out of rocks. Anna Hasselborg, Team Sweden remain unbeaten. They're 6-4 winners. And there we see the summary here from Session 6 at the Ford World Women's Curling Championships 2018. Italy, another upset win, comeback win over Russia, 6-5, and Sweden, 6-4 winners over Team USA. Let's take a look at the standings. Sweden unbeaten, 4-0, alone at the top of the standings. Canada, Korea, also unbeaten, 3-0. Russia suffering their first loss. Japan 2-1. Italy now 2-2 along with the USA. China, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Denmark, Germany, and Scotland rounding out the standings. 6 teams will advance to the playoff round.
Congratulations. That was a hard-fought game. Seemed like a battle of two halves in that game.
Sorry?
A battle of two halves, the front and the back end.
Yeah, for sure. They put a lot of pressure on us, even though we were 4 up there. So we struggled a bit, but we kept working as a team. So I think, yeah, we're happy with the win.
Do you look forward to possibly becoming a team like Annette Norberg and winning the Olympic gold and then the World Championship in the same year?
Yeah, of course, that is a dream.
And looking ahead the rest of the week, is it a drain? You guys doing anything differently, playing a lot of games so far this year?
I don't know, like just for this competition, I think we try to take it really, really slow between the games because we are just straight in from the Olympics. So just trying to recharge whenever you can and just relax a lot between the games.
And now coming up, you have a game against Korea, the team you played in the Olympic final. Have you circled that one? Is that another one you want to play, or is every game the same?
I think every game is the same. I think that is the key to our success this year. We try to just play the other color and just go out there and focus on our own game. And we set out a game plan before the game starts and try to execute that.
Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you.
There we have it from the North Bay Memorial Gardens. Sweden remaining unbeaten. Hope you've enjoyed the action from North Bay. Join us again later in the week. More curling action from the Ford World Women's Curling Championships. On behalf of Luke Coley, Hans Frelund, thank you for joining us.